perseverance are always our choices.
It can be achieved as an individual and shared as a community.
In the face of a global pandemic, Escolarians inspired and empowered one another.
By continuing to learn and keeping the fire alive.
As we surge forward in the upcoming national elections in 2022,
we encourage everyone to practice the right to vote.
Voting is a power and a responsibility.
Being able to vote gives us the opportunity to voice out our opinions.
For the betterment of our community and our country.
Now, we must remain hand in hand, embodying Escolarian spirit.
As we work towards a brighter and stronger tomorrow for our nation.
With unity, strength, and courage, we are empowered.
To dream big and aim high. This pandemic calls for your best lights, not your dark thoughts. It calls for your best efforts, not lackluster and feeble jabs.
I, Richbon Quevedo, Vice Chairman, have the honor to present the newly appointed officers for school year 2020 to 2021.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Ready to be inspired, engaged, and empowered. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our speaker, Mrs. Miriam Kiambao Roberto.
Encouragement is for you to climb. You know, climbers, they have a strong faith in something that is bigger than themselves. They are the ones who really have a goal within themselves, who have a big why that will push them, that will drive them, that will motivate them to endure whatever hardships to get to the very top, to get to their goal. And in terms of grit, hold on to this rock. Grip onto this rock that can never be shaken. That is Jesus Christ. God bless you all.
Be bold, be courageous, be your best. Let not a pandemic stop you from shining even brighter.
We hope we could be with you guys on our second Saturday seminar on October 17, 2020.
What's up, everyone? Hello to all Escolarian students and leaders from CEU Manila, Makati, Malolos, and Las Piñas who are watching us right now. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ate Mikay.
Honored to introduce to you Dr. Leandro A. Loyola.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Mikay and Pam, for that very generous introduction. Be ready. Hope those who are at home and who are listening and watching us are also doing this. Go! But what we are actually trying to aim is for us to evolve to our better version. We hope that this experience would help us to evolve into something that is better, for the better. And we all transform and be extraordinary, because these trying times also require extraordinary measures from all of us. So let's keep an open mind. Let's think outside of the box on how we can actually transform and relate that to our roles as student leaders. Let us really make use of our power right now, be it over social media or over our offline activities or programs. Let's make use of the whatever we have right now, the technology and all that. Let's maximize it. Let us empower each other so that we'll be able to help each other also survive and thrive in this new and better normal.
Handa ang kanilang magiging katungkulan sa kinabukasan bilang mga leader ng ating bansa, komunidad, at ng ating iba't ibang mga organisasyon.
You are never too young to know what is right. You are never too young to speak the truth to power. And you are never too young to be a leader who will empower others and who will serve others.
And as we work to build back better, always remember that we are stronger when we are together. Magsama-sama po tayo, magtulungan, iyakin natin na tayo ay sama-sama nababago.
We hope that you use the power bestowed on you to influence and empower others and to inspire them with your passion.
We hope we could be with you guys on our third and last Saturday seminar on October 24th.
Can you believe it? Today is the last and final day of our Congress, ang Panday season.
Yes, and still with the theme, the Generation Z value statement, versatility and ardency of leaders in an uncharted environment.
Be like salt and know just how much to season your constituents so that they will try. They will be flavorful and they will be excited to be part of your councils and organizations.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to have with us today Mr. Marlon Molnisa.
Good afternoon! Hello po sa inyo lahat, and I'm so glad that I'm here. Bago tayo naging leader, normally, ang ating iniisip ay yung mag-grow tayo as a person. But when we become a leader, ang ating nagiging mindset na ay dapat mag-grow yung mga tao sa paligid natin. Because that is what we call servant leadership. When you are focused on your purpose and it is being ignited by your passion, everything around you becomes blurred. Nanggagaling yung purpose na yon sa Diyos. And I want you to go back to God. And because the end goal of life is God. Crisis is the litmus test of leadership.
The steel of last year continues to be formed and forged into the finest of steel. Next year, 2021, the third of the series is Talas, or sharpening. And in 2022, ang Sandata, or the sword itself. Mythical as it sounds, but mystical is its foundation.
There you have it, everyone. That's a wrap. Thank you very much, Escalorians, for being with us on our Leadership Congress 2020 journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us all bow our heads for the opening prayer to be led by the CU Singers Manila. This will be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem to be led by the CU Concert Band.
Holy Spirit, faithful guide, ever near the Christian side, gently lead us by the hand, pilgrims in a desert land, weary souls forever rejoice, while they hear that sweetest voice, whispering softly, wanderer, come, follow me, I'll guide thee home. Ever present, truest friend, ever near thine aid to lend, leave us not to doubt and fear, groping on in darkness drear, when the storms are raging sore, hearts grow faint and hopes give o'er, whisper softly, wanderer, come, follow me, I'll guide thee home.
Escolarians, are you ready? Please welcome our hosts for the first day of our Leadership Congress 2021, ang Panday Series 3 Talas, Miss Maria Nicole Garrido and Mr. Robert Julius Soliman.
Hello, Escolarian student leaders from Manila, Makati, and Malolos. Welcome to the first Saturday of our Leadership Congress 2021, ang Panday Series 3, Talas.
With the theme, BAGUMBAYAN, BUKLOD, BAGANI, BAYAN.
I am Maria Nicole Querido, your University Student Council Manila Secretary.
And I am Robert Julius Salaman, your University Student Council Manila Assistant Treasurer. And we are your hosts for today. You look great, Nicole. If I am going to describe you with a Taylor Swift song, I will pick gorgeous. You look so gorgeous in your Filipiniana.
Oh, thank you for that compliment, Robert. I have a Taylor Swift song for you too, and that's Mr. Perfectly Fine. You look so perfectly fine today, Robert.
Thank you for that too. You were so quick with that, huh? All right, before anything else, how are you, Escolarians? Our finals week for the second learning block just finished a few days ago. I hope you are all doing well and recharged as you join us in today's Leadership Congress. How about you, Nicole? Are you doing well, recharged, and we're excited to co-host with me in this afternoon's event?
Thank you for asking, Robert. To be honest, I've been under stress and feeling burnout lately because of our final exam and other assignments to submit. But all of those are done, and today it just feels good, and you got it. I am excited to co host this afternoon's event. And I would like to ask our participants again, how are you guys? We want you to participate and engage with us by sharing your comments or reactions through the chat box shown down below using the hashtag BUKLOD or hashtag BUKLOD
You heard it right, Escolarians. Share with us your comments and reactions. Just keep the hashtags coming and let's get the conversation going.
Robert, don't you think this is the perfect moment for our fellow leaders to engage, discuss, and interact with their fellow student leaders in Central Escolar University? And looking at the themes of our Congress, don't you agree with me that the Congress also serves as a perfect occasion to promote good citizenship and ignite everyone to seek character excellence?
I totally agree, Nicole. Our virtual Congress is back and rightfully serves its purpose. May this Congress motivate everyone to register and vote in the next year's election. And for everyone's information, our 3-day leadership congress will happen starting today until November 7, 2021, which is the last day of the congress. Today's topic is Buklod, Kabataan, Nasaan Ka? This session focuses on identifying our roles and responsibilities as the youth sector of our society and standing up to be counted when needed at the crucial stage of electing the right leaders for nation building.
Yes, 3 weeks of fun-filled activities, enriching programs, and mind-blowing lessons to achieve our objectives. We might still longing for a face-to-face interaction where we got to bond with others and create beautiful memories. But I believe just like the first virtual Congress last year, this year's second virtual leadership Congress will also give us unforgettable memories and lessons to learn from. We have lined up for you guys plenary sessions with our guest speakers and, of course, challenging yet meaningful weekly tasks.
Add this to the excitement, Nicole, because we will have raffle draws where our participants will have the chance to win prizes later in the program. And so, are we now ready?
Yes, we are!
Okay, to formally open this year's Leadership Congress, it is our honor and privilege to have with us today our top leader, the University President and Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padulina, for her inspirational message. Let's give her a warm virtual round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, President.
Good afternoon and greetings of joy, peace, and hope to everyone, to our Scholarian leaders, the advisors, the heads of student affairs in all our campuses, and officers of administration who are here joining us. This year's Leadership Congress of our university is the third of the series started in 2019. The theme of this series is Ang Panday. Let us explore that metaphorical theme because it is really quite meaningful. The literal translation of Panday is blacksmith or smithy and refers to a person who works with iron. One that works with silver is called Panday Pilak. With gold, Panday Ginto. With tin, Panday Yero, and so on. While the word Panday has been associated with working with metal, it has taken on a broader context to mean working or forming materials other than metal, or even of plans and programs, or of alliances and partnerships. This is what leadership is all about. A leader is a Panday. A leader has a vision of an outcome, and he or she works with materials, and that includes the people he or she works with in order to realize a vision. The leader creates the essential conditions, identifies critical policies, implements key initiatives, and devises vital strategies necessary to achieve the vision. The blacksmith, the Panday, employs heat and various tools to form iron into an implement. So do leaders employ all that they could muster to achieve their vision. To give further meaning to the leader as a Panday, I would like to read a poem by Amado Hernandez, a Filipino poet, writer, and labor leader. Ang pamagat ng tula ay ang Panday. And I requested that the verses be flashed on the screen so that you can read the verses while also listening when I recite the verses. Ang Panday, tula ni Amado Hernandez. Kaputol na bakal na galing sa bundok. Sa dila ng apoy, kanyang pinalambot. Sa isang pandayay, matyagang pinukpok at pinagkahugis sa nasa ng loob. Walang ano-ano'y naging kagamitan, araro na pala ang bakal na iyan. Ang mga bukiri payapang binungkal, nang magtaniman na'y masayang tinamnan. Ngunit isang araw, nagkaroon ng gulo at ang buong bayan ay bulkang sumubo. Tanang mamamayay nagtayo ng hukbo pagkat may laban ng nag-aalimpuyo. Ang lumang araro'y pinagbagang muli at saka pinanday ng nagdudumali. Naging tabak naman tila humihingi ng paghihiganti ng lahing sinawi. Kaputol na bakal, nakislap may wala, ang kahalagahan ay di matingkala. Ginawang araro, pambuhay ng madla, ginawang sandata, pananggol ng bansa. Pagmasdan ang Panday, nasa isang tabi, bakal na hindi man makapagmalaki. Subalit sa kanyang kamay na marumi, nariyan ang buhay at pagsasarili. The poem conveys the power of the leader to shape the metal according to his purpose in mind. Pinagkahugis sa nasa ng loob. Remember that as a leader, you have that potential to shape the future of your organization. What kind of leader will you be? What is your end in mind? One that gives you power to fulfill your own ambitions? Or one that empowers and inspires your team so that you may, altogether, serve your constituency and attain the greater good? As you go through and participate in this Leadership Congress, may you be guided to discern your answer to the questions poised in your sub-themes. Kabataan, nasaan ka? Bayani ka ba? Ang sagot ninyo sa mga tanong na yan, nakasalalay kung kaya ninyong sabihin, bayan, gising na. Mabuhay ang mga panday ng pamantasang sentro escolar. Papuri sa ating pamatasan. Papuri sa Diyos na ating gabay. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much, President Padolina, for your inspiring message and your warm welcome to this year's Leadership Congress. That was such a good poem by Amado Hernandez, Ma'am Padolina, and you're right. We all have the potential to be a leader. Even with the restrictions of physical space, the Leadership Congress remains an event where the three campuses of CEU assemble and work together to provide the student leaders with the best learning experience.
I agree, Nicole. Before we call President Padolina back on screen, we shall now have the induction of CEU Manila officers with Ms. Raisa de la Paz, USC COMELEC chairperson, for the presentation of the new set of officers for CEU Manila this school year 2021 to 2022. The CEU Makati and CEU Malolos officers shall also be presented.
A pleasant afternoon to our Administrative Council, distinguished guests, advisors, teachers, staff, student leaders, and delegates. On behalf of the University Student Council Commission on Elections and the respective school COMELEC officers, I, Raisa de la Paz, USC COMELEC chairperson, have the honor to present the newly elected officers for school year 2021 to 2022.
Officers of the USC Commission on Elections. Science and Technology Representative Alejandra Garumba. Pharmacy Representative Sofia Manahan. Nursing Representative Seher Butt. Nutrition and Hospitality Management Representative Angeline Legaspi. Medical Technology Representative Angelo Pentecostes. Medicine Representative Patricia Ravinera. ELAMS Representative and COMELEC Treasurer Kyle Angelo Crispino. Optometry Representative and COMELEC Secretary Joanna Morales. Accountancy and Management Representative and Vice Chairperson Jebert Teves. Dentistry Representative and USC COMELEC Chairperson Raisa de la Paz. With their advisor, Dr. Carlito B. Olaer. Newly elected School Council Officers. Officers of the School of Accountancy and Management Student Council. Public Relations Officer Anika Carillo. Auditor Christian de Guzman. Treasurer Frances Bandiola. Secretary Maverick Laureta. Vice President Maria Bucot. President PJ Olea, with their advisor Dr. Roel E. Antonio. Officers of the School of Dentistry Student Council. Public Relations Officer Raisa Tiwan. Auditor Diwata Gatlabayan. Treasurer Corinne Suiza. Secretary Alexandra Mansalapus. Vice President Eric Avanzado. President Geraldine Manawat. With their advisor Dr. Jim L. Fernandez. Officers of the School of Education, Liberal Arts, Music, and Social Work Student Council. Public Relations Officer Rika Hoxon. Auditor Dana Artes. Treasurer Beverly Hayashi. Secretary Felice Talod. Vice President Fibel Biocos. President Joel Romandi. With their advisor Dr. Rosana D. Lucero. Officers of the School of Medical Technology Student Council. Public Relations Officer Rain Martizano. Auditor Isabel Ilad. Treasurer Jethro Tarasina. Secretary Ayla Daniel. Vice President Susmita De Lima. President Gio Villapando. With their advisor Ms. Mady Andrea Mejorada. Officers of the School of Medicine Student Council. Public Relations Officer Juan Buencamino. Auditor Christine Dean. Treasurer Christian Reyes. Secretary Robert Agoncillo. Vice President Ernest Lucila. President Catherine Camingawan, with their advisor, Dr. Florinda U. Canuto. Officers of the School of Nutrition and Hospitality Management Student Council, Public Relations Officer Denise Montales, Auditor Juliana Leona, Treasurer Jan Fabilian, Secretary Chucky Piquero, Vice President Janisha Yatko, President Ryan Generoso, with their advisor Mrs. Danilyn Basco Quiñones. Officers of the Nursing Student Council, Public Relations Officer Lorraine Jasmine Cruz, Auditor Jasprit Kumar, Treasurer Gabrielle Aldeza, Secretary Chloe Heronga, Vice President ZJ Alversado, President Elisha Domingo, with their advisor Mr. Earl John Gomez. Officers of the School of Optometry Student Council, Public Relations Officer Catherine Cordero, Auditor Nathaniel Borromeo, Treasurer Maria Arcega, Secretary Elaine Salem, Vice President Miguel Iringan, President Sienna Mabuti, with their advisor Dr. Carol Garianto. Officers of the School of Pharmacy Student Council, Public Relations Officer Carmine Gel Salazar, Auditor Lorraine Burbas, Treasurer Pamela Evora, Secretary Kimberly De La Cruz, Vice President Maria Oriquia, President Regime Bernales Jr., with their advisor Mr. Rayson S. Cosas. Officers of the School of Science and Technology Student Council, Public Relations Officer Hill Nocon, Auditor Maria Eileen Castro, Treasurer Reginald De La Vega, Secretary Micah Caudal, Vice President Juvelin Abbott, President Raymond Fortaleza, with their advisor Ms. Eden Joy P. Alata. Newly elected school-based organization officers. School of Accountancy and Management. Officers of the Association of Business Administration Students, Public Relations Officer Claire Pantig, Auditor Athena Barnido, Treasurer Marilyn Ofkeria, Secretary Ian Demdam, Vice President Maria Katrina Javier, President Mark Fernandez, with their advisor Dr. Margarita E. Gray. Officers of Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants, Public Relations Officer Joan Polima, Auditor Gerald Pani, Treasurer Anne Florida, Secretary Miriam Balieras, Vice President Joan Biaco, President Catherine Barameda, with their advisor Mr. Roy Hosson. School of Dentistry. Officers of the Association of Dentistry Students in the Philippines, Public Relations Officer April Nortate, Auditor Jan Gotenko, Treasurer Don Jimuel Antonio, Secretary Mary Lord Rabena, External Vice President J.C. Lasam, Internal Vice President Micaela Cortina, President Eliza Batislaon, with their advisor Dr. Marjorie King Flores. Officers of the Dental Clinicians Club Juniors, Public Relations Officer Diane Dayansen, Auditor Clarence Guerrero, Treasurer Isabel Estrada, Secretary Nur Fatma Macabando, Vice President Scott Canlas, President Daryl Abungin, with their advisor Dr. Wena E. Mercado. Officers of the Dental Clinicians Club Senior, Public Relations Officer Abby Calma, Auditor Anna Fajardo, Treasurer Chanmi Kim, Secretary December Halili, Vice President Micah Briones, President Mariela Corum, with their advisor Dr. Rowena E. Mercado. School of Education, Liberal Arts, Music, and Social Work. Officers of CEU Educators Rising, Public Relations Officer Rachel Irigayan, Auditor Luis Campos, Treasurer Mariah Santos, Secretary Ivana Lorenzo, Vice President Teresa Ramirez, President Josiel Caceres, with their advisor Ms. Rose Ira May R. Tayag. Officers of Communication Arts Society, Public Relations Officer Paula Cecilio, Auditor Janela de la Peña, Treasurer Rowan Aguilar, Secretary Andrea Galvan, Vice President Vanessa Canlas, President John Bolivar, with their advisor Professor Ricky R. Rosales. Officers of Junior Social Workers Association of the Philippines, Public Relations Officer Marilyn Pring, Auditor Nurmay Hisarza, Treasurer Florestel Mazo, Secretary Hasina Candelario, Vice President Kyla Vidanya, President Hazel Tolentino, with their advisor Dr. Lolita D. Pablo. Officers of Political Science Society, Public Relations Officer Angelo Barba, Auditor Mark Gomez, Treasurer Jose Bermudez, Secretary Nina Gutierrez, Vice President Joshua Sanchez, President Renz Fernandez, with their advisor Professor Julius O. De Leon. School of Medical Technology, Officers of Philippine Society of Medical Technology Students, Public Relations Officer Angela Bautista, Auditor Cheryl Law, Treasurer John Abad, Secretary Romen Tatlonghari, Vice President Isabel Macalintal, President Ann Pablo, with their advisor Mr. John Lawrence Bautista. School of Medicine, Officers of Medical Student Society, Public Relations Officer Dana Regala, Auditor Ana Reyes, Treasurer Erisu Tomotake, Secretary Therese Lorico, Vice President Imelda Aranya, President May Matias, with their advisor Dr. Alvin Ray Tan. School of Nursing, Officers of Philippine Nursing Research Society, Public Relations Officer Jana Zapate, Auditor Kasmir Abag, Assistant Treasurer Mary Aureli, Treasurer Cristel Bulaon, Assistant Secretary Elmer Miguel, Secretary Frances Borleo, Vice President Diane Payade, President Vea Fuentesilia, with their advisor Dr. Josephine De Leon. School of Nutrition and Hospitality Management, Officers of Association of Tourism Students, Coordinator Jonna Claire Dominguez, Public Relations Officer Maria Mejilano, Auditor Alan Santa Maria, Treasurer Carmela Dingal, Assistant Secretary Maria Micaela Tabo, Secretary Chamay Roldan, External Vice President Faven Skirpuz, Internal Vice President Carmela Lopez, President Michiko Munoz, with their advisor Ms. Janelle M. Villamor. Officers of the Association of International Hospitality Management Students, Assistant Public Relations Officer Piolo Deuna, Public Relations Officer R.V. Cahilig, Auditor Nina Capistrano, Assistant Treasurer Josh Bundalian, Treasurer Giselle Saguan, Secretary Kathleen Salazar, External Vice President Tracy Bastro, Internal Vice President Clint Batallones, President Maria Iris Sobre Peña, with their advisor Mr. Jerome John B. Soralbo. Officers of Philippine Association of Nutrition Delta Chapter, Assistant Public Relations Officer Jasmine Gumabay, Public Relations Officer Hil Rosal, Assistant Auditor Yola Fiel, Auditor Monique Reynon, Assistant Treasurer Denzel Saliona, Treasurer Kimberly Dean, Assistant Secretary Jody Loplop, Secretary Rochelle Ramel, External Vice President Paul Bakiran, Internal Vice President Maria Karina Soriano, Junior Vice President Shaina Fortuna, President Julien Cuartero, with their advisor Ms. Honey Loveline Bontile. School of Optometry, Officers of Optometry Clinicians Club, Public Relations Officer James Antoy, Auditor Kevin Tresuelo, Treasurer Julian Puertoriza, Secretary Chaika Nacario, Vice President Jelshan Bawagbog, President Jasmine Humol, with their advisor Dr. Marlene Samson. School of Pharmacy. Officers of Junior Philippine Pharmacist Association, Beta Chapter Manila. Public Relations Officer Christopher Pompa. Auditor Ella De Vera. Treasurer Charlene Cabaron. Secretary Belinda Lachica. Vice President Raven Viloria. President Dominic Moreno. With their advisor Ms. Maria Elizabeth Yu. School of Science and Technology. Officers of Junior Philippine Computer Society. Public Relations Officer Michael Collado. Auditor Shaira Gabat. Treasurer Kent Bravo. Secretary Valerie Lee. Vice President Charles Arco. President Princess Apelido. With their advisor Engineer Crystalline D. Cortez. Officers of Psychology Society. Public Relations Officer Herbie Gabales. Auditor Ronan Cuenca. Treasurer Angel Panelo. Assistant Secretary Maria Suero. Secretary Chelsea Abraham. External Vice President Alicia Tugawen. Internal Vice President Lineth Ocampo. President Gail Garcia. With their advisor Mr. Adrian M. Segovia. Newly elected officers of university-wide organizations. Officers of American Society of Microbiology. Public Relations Officer Nigel Banadero. Auditor Aaron Santonia. Treasurer Julia Lim. Assistant Secretary Jillian Ramos. Secretary Michelle Abletes. External Vice President Ruth Cabildo. Internal Vice President Maria Medel. President Arthin Flores. With their advisor Professor Ida Mamorno. Officers of the Community Outreach Movement Proactive Students. Public Relations Officer Lady Molina. Auditor Angela Bautista. Treasurer J.M. Bueno. Secretary Mafia Gonzalez. Vice President Casimir Hugarab. President Zia Henzon. With their advisor Dr. Maria Cecilia L. Yu. Officers of English Guild. Public Relations Officer Angelo Umali. Auditor Frances Rosales. Treasurer Rochelle Amarante. Secretary Jose Maningas. Vice President Kayla Dayrit. President Gio Escanillas. With their advisor Professor Divina Gracia Peña. Officers of Dramatic Guild. Public Relations Officer Mary Luison. Auditor Micaela Reynoso. Treasurer Irish Bolilan. Secretary Mary Oblea. Vice President Judiel Galang. President Lauren Cortez. With their advisor Professor Julian S. Domingo. Officers of Honor Society. Public Relations Officer Christine Del Rosario. Auditor Nicaela Pagsalingan. Treasurer Richelle Ramel. Secretary Joseph Cordero. Vice President Monique Ramboyong. President Janelle Abdon. With their advisor Dr. Maria Teresa C. Gonzalez. Officers of International Students Association. Public Relations Officer Tanya Dawood. Auditor Julia Abehay. Treasurer T. Hao Yuan. Secretary Nuri Lee. Vice President Tuan Lin Tsang. President Abdullah Jordi. With their advisor Dr. Lani E. Sakay. Officers of Kabataang Pangarap ni Rizal. Public Relations Officer J.V. Juliana. Auditor Richie Viste. Treasurer Joseph de Guzman. Secretary Gabriel Santos. Vice President Gia Gonzalez. President Joanna Cautivo. With their advisor Mr. Rodolfo Valdenaro. Officers of Mathematics Club. Public Relations Officer Vien Laurice Suto. Auditor Sofia Zapata. Treasurer John Christopher Ananding. Secretary Churi Peliazar. Vice President Princess Paez. President Jacob Aurelio. With their advisor Dr. Remy A. Bautista. Officers of Oratorical and Debate Society. Auditor Criseli Pascual. Treasurer Alisa Mapandi. Secretary Nicola Swanco. Vice President Princess Camartillo. President Frances Kaliwag. With their advisor Professor Dante B. Gabano. Officers of Peer Facilitators Group. Public Relations Officer Nina Palisok. Auditor Omar Al Jarala. Treasurer Joshua Gabukayan. Internal Vice President Jennifer Bulan. External Vice President Stephanie Lontok. President Clyde Liton. With their advisor Ms. Claudette Nugid. Officers of Photographers Club. Public Relations Officer Kia Amisola. Auditor Abigail Menor. Treasurer Precious Cruz. Secretary Jerome Bilo. Vice President Nicole Uy. President Donna Riam Bonanza. With their advisor Professor James Philip M. Monserrate. Officers of Red Cross Youth. Public Relations Officer Megan Tan. Auditor Bianca De La Rosa. Assistant Treasurer Jade De Padua. Treasurer Nicole Higante. Assistant Secretary Camille Santos. Secretary Phoebe Ilaw. External Vice President Alicia Nash. Vice President April Ocarizo. With their advisor Professor Mark Rodrigo Mendros. Officers of Science Club. Public Relations Officer Francine Eroso. Auditor Christine Reyes. Treasurer Joyce Ancero. Secretary Krisha Agustin. Vice President Carl Gayoso. President Abigail Mangubat. With their advisor Professor Maria Asuncion Lopez. Officers of Student Catholic Action. Public Relations Officer Adrian Mabahage. Auditor Regine Mayuga. Treasurer Mika Martinez. Secretary Christine Bonete. Internal Vice President Roy Reyes. External Vice President Angela Robles. President Sister Minerva Humawid. With their advisor Dr. Sofia Magdalena N. Robles. Officers of Social Sciences Society. Public Relations Officer Kija Rojas. Auditor Kevin Torrio. Treasurer Ashaline Rico. Secretary Ahmad Umug. Vice President Juan Rondolio. President Lady Pangilinan. With their advisor Dr. Lorenzo Hippolito. Newly elected officers of the University Student Council. Assistant Public Relations Officer Mundine Kathleen C. Perrin. Public Relations Officer Jerome V. Ventinilla. Assistant Auditor Brian Kyle C. Doliente. Auditor Micaela G. Uson. Assistant Treasurer Robert Julius R. Soliman. Treasurer Rica May S. Bautista. Assistant Secretary Ria Janbeth G. Del Rosario. Secretary Maria Nicole C. Carrido. Second Vice President Sofia Marie C. Gregorio. First Vice President Pamela Grace C. Corpuz. President Micaela Alisa V. Flores. With their advisor Dr. Carlito B. Olaer. CEU Makati officers were inducted to office last September 18, 2021. Malolos officers were inducted to office last October 16, 2021.
At this point, may I request our President and Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padolina, to induct the office the new set of officers together with Ms. Micaela Alisa V. Flores, USC Manila President, to recite the oath of office on behalf of all the newly elected officers of CEU Manila.
Raise your right hand, Ms. Flores, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Micaela Alisa V. Flores,
Having been elected to the position of
having been elected to the position of President
the University Student Council,
of the University Student Council,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
to perform well and faithfully discharge to the best of my ability
and faithfully discharge to the best of my ability
the duties and responsibilities of my elected position,
the duties and responsibilities of my elected position,
and of all others which I hereafter hold, under its constitution and bylaws, that I will support and defend the aims, purposes and principles for which it was created, and that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations to you, Ms. Flores, and to all other officers.
Thank
God
you
bless
very
you.
much po, President.
Thank you for the service that you do for your fellow students. God bless.
Thank you very much po.
Once again, congratulations to all Escolarian student leaders. Remember that every day is a chance to serve our community and to contribute to the betterment of our country. This is a chance to work hand in hand to give our best despite all trials. We all deserve a warm virtual round of applause, everyone.
Congratulations to all Escolarian student leaders. Up next, may we call in Ms. Maria Bernadette P. Nakagami, the USC President of School Year 2020 to 2021, for the turnover of the key of responsibility to Ms. Micaela Alisa V. Flores, the newly inducted University Student Council President for School Year 2021 to 2022.
Administrative Council, headed by our University President and Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padolina, to the Deans and Department Heads, to all the council and organization advisors, professors, guests, my fellow Escolarians, a pleasant day to all of you. It has been my great pleasure and privilege to lead the University Student Council as its president for school year 2020-2021. I still remember how anxious I was while thinking, how could I possibly lead my fellow Escolarians to its greatest and finest success in the middle of this outrageous pandemic? The year that was proved itself that we succeeded to our heart's content. But as its president, I could also say now that any achievement attained or any activity accomplished would not have been possible were it not for my co-USC batch SINAG officers and the entire CEU community pushing me as well as accompanying me all throughout the journey of my presidency. And of course, to our dearest advisor, Dr. Carlito B. Olaer, who untiringly guided and molded us into who we are right now, able and confident in ourselves as student leaders. This pandemic had brought a lot of challenges to us as individuals and as a council. Looking back and feeling then the cold breeze of July last year, we struggled in determining the path to take. Personally, I went through the many difficult phases of doubt, denial, and finally acceptance of the responsibility put on my shoulders as the leader of all leaders on campus. That was stressful, but what kept me going was my sole desire to be of service and make every student leader embrace the demands of leadership. And I believe I succeeded. Not even the pandemic could stop me and my co-officers to explore all possibilities to come up with programs and activities relevant and meaningful to everyone. And I am glad and truly delighted to claim that we did not only survive, we also thrived as student leaders with clear vision and purpose. Today, as I turn over the key of responsibility to the new batch of leaders, it pains to give up what I started to like doing as a leader. But smiles are written as well on my face as I see the succession of leadership going. This is one clear proof that Escolarians can lead and are destined to achieve greater things in life. What the future will offer is something that we have worked hard for in the present, and that makes it less scary to face. From the bottom of my heart, I want to say that I am truly grateful for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity given to me to serve as your Student Council President. It has been a pleasure to serve my beloved CEU, my alma mater. Full of hopes and full of dreams, I am more than ready to walk the path laid down before me, the new world of work, adventure, and mission. To everyone, continue to serve with unparalleled compassion and humility, moral ascendancy, equal respect, and above all, faith in the Lord. I, Maria Bernadette P. Nakagami, President of the University Student Council Manila for school year 2020-2021, turn over this key of responsibility to Micaela Alisa V. Flores, President-elect of the USC Manila school year 2021-2022. Thank you, and may God bless us all.
Our beloved University President and Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padalina, members of the Administrative Council, deans and heads, to our advisors, our professors, Escolarian students, and to my fellow student leaders, good afternoon. I, Micaela Alisa V. Flores, as President of the University Student Council for school year 2021 to 2022, hereby accept this key of responsibility, honoring and committing to the duties entrusted to me together with my fellow officers. This key symbolizes the responsibility it carries. The weight of the impact that it may cause to others can be overwhelming, but at the same time, motivating. As such, it becomes our drive to continue being servant leaders. This key is an opportunity to open new doors, to unleash and discover new ideas, vision, realization, and potentials of our fellow student leaders. Likewise, it hones our capability to attain a sense of involvement in conducting activities that are beneficial to the entire CEU community and our country. I draw strength from knowing that at the end of my term as president, I shall have served the well-being of everyone. I am honored and grateful for your utmost support and for entrusting me and my fellow USC officers. This, with the guidance of our Father in Heaven, I pledge to accept this key of responsibility that I am accountable of, and I will do the best of my ability to be a steward of excellence and an epitome of courage and passion, to serve our beloved CEU and to be an instrument for a new and better nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Nakagami and Miss Flores.
Again, congratulations to all of us for the successful turnover of the key of leadership.
By the way, we would like to take this opportunity to greet our USC Manila President, Miss Micaela V. Flores, a happy birthday.
We would also like to greet Kuya Juan Carlos Carinceja, the USC President of School Year 2019 to 2020, a happy birthday from all of us USC Manila officers.
In addition to that, Nicole, it is also a powerful reminder of a peaceful change of national leadership in June 2022. With that, we are reminding again everyone of legal age who is joining us right now to register and vote on May 9, 2022 for the national and local elections. If you haven't registered yet, this is your extended opportunity. You can access the CEU USC Manila Facebook page for more information with regard to the registration process, or you can access the official COMELEC Facebook pages and your respective COMELEC city districts.
That's true, Rob. So to those who haven't registered yet, please get your thumbs inked. Alright? By the way, wow! We already have a total number of almost 400 viewers on Facebook and YouTube. Wow, that's a lot, huh?
That is amazing, Nicole. How about we check the comment section and see the hashtag entries from earlier?
Go ahead, Robert.
All right, there's a comment from Rafael Joaquin Laksamana, hashtag USC Leadership Congress 2021, hashtag BUKLOD Escolarian, hashtag BUKLOD Kabataan.
All right, we also have another comment from Mr. Arvin Santos, and congratulations to everyone, hashtag BUKLOD Escolarian, hashtag BUKLOD Kabataan. Thank you for that comment, Mr. Arvin Santos.
For the last comment, we've got from CEU Malolos Mathematics Club, 3 Orange Heart, hashtag USC Leadership Congress 2021. BUKLOD Escolarian, hashtag BUKLOD Kabataan. Thank you for your comments, everyone. We will get back to you all later.
Up next is the moment we've been waiting for, the opportunity to listen, learn, and interact with our speaker for today. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the first speaker for the first day of our Leadership Congress 2021, ang Panday Series 3, Talas. His extensive background in youth development and engagement spans a total of 8 fruitful years, where he is widely seen as one of the active champions for genuine reform in politics and good governance. Since 2013, Char, as he is fondly called by his peers and friends, has been advocating for youth's participation in the country's democratic process through voters' registration, education, and engagement. From 2016 to 2018, he served as the national president of the 11th National Youth Parliament, a program mandated by Law 1 to gather young people's agenda through the National Youth Commission, where his batch advocated for the resumption of the Sangguniang Kabataan SK elections by virtue of Republic Act 10742 or the SK Reform Law, as well as the inclusion of youth-centered politics related to the passage of Mental Health Law.
In 2012, he was one of the delegates of the 14th Ayala Young Leaders Congress and the lone representative of San Beda University, which jump-started his advocacy work on youth empowerment and engagement. He used to work as the former program manager for the ASEAN Youth Community Philippines and former communications manager for Y Goal Incorporated. He was also the founding executive director and former president of the Philippine Leadership and Empowerment Alliance for Development Incorporated or PHLEAD Incorporated, and is currently one of the skills development trainers for Facebook Philippines Digital Tayo campaign.
He was also the former national convener of Youth Vote Philippines and the former youth-led national election coordinator under the Youth Leadership for Democracy of the Asia Foundation with support from the United States Agency for International Development. Fellow student leaders, help me welcome our first speaker, Mr. Chard Amazona. Let us give him a virtual round of applause.
Yan, ayan. So, it's actually a good thing, no? Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat at nakakatuwa, no? Na nagkasama-sama tayo ngayong Sabado ng hapon para pag-usapan paano nga ba tayo bilang mga kabataan ay magbubuklod at magkakaroon ng pagkakataon para makapag-usap, no? Bilang bahagi ng inyong tema ngayong araw, hinahanap natin ang isa sa mga pinakamalaking katanungan, nasaan nga ba ang mga kabataang Pilipino? Paano nga ba tayo magkakatulungan? Paano nga ba tayo magkakaroon ng pagkakataon para mas lalo nating maipakita na handa nga tayo sa mga hamon, lalong-lalo na ngayong pandemya at syempre sa susunod pang mga panahon na kung saan mas kinakailangan ang boses ng bawat isang Pilipino, lalong-lalo na tayong mga kabataan. Kaya sa pagkakataong to, allow me to share with you some insights din para makatulong sa inyo, para sagutin din kung ano nga ba yung pinakatangamang sagot kapag hinahanap yung kabataan nasaan ka. No? Sa pagkakataong ito, allow me to share my screen for this one. At dito natin pag-uusapan yung tamang pagbubuklod. No? Kanina, narinig natin ang mensahe ng inyong ilan sa mga school administrators na sinasabi sa atin that leadership is actually what we need right now. And most probably, no, isa sa mga pinakamalaking hamon ngayong 2021 ay paano ba natin pagbubuklorin ang bawat isa sa atin, especially that we are in a state na kung saan ay most of our classes are being held virtually. And we hope to see as well, no, na dumating yung pagkakataon na even if we are meeting virtually, dumating tayo sa punto na maramdaman pa rin natin na meron pa rin isang komunidad. At sa hapong ito yung bagay na pag-uusapan natin. Hahanapin natin yung ilan sa mga tao at ilan sa mga lessons, no, na pwede nating magamit bilang bahagi ng ating panunungkulan sa taong 2021 hanggang 2022 o maaari even beyond 2022. So simulan natin siguro sa katanungan, no, madaming mga kabataan ang laging hinahanap. At dito siguro, no, bilang sa ating pag-uusap ngayong hapon, hanapin natin ang mga sagot. Tulungan ninyo akong hanapin ang sagot sa ilang mga katanungang palaging tinatanong sa mga kabataan ngayong panahong ito. Sa unang tanong, no, ito yung mga gusto nating sagutin ngayong araw na wala ba talaga ang mga kabataan, no? Naanig na iba't ibang mga balita, ibang sources, at gayon din sa iba't ibang mga blogs or even vlogs, no, na nagsasabi daw na ang mga kabataang Pilipino ngayon ay nawawala. Pero syempre, ang pinakatanong ay nawala nga talaga ang kabataan. So hahanapin natin ang sagot na yan maya-maya lamang. Pangalawa, nawawala ba talaga ang mga kabataan? No? Ilan sa mga naririnig natin kapag dumarating tayo sa punto ng pakikipalastasan, sa punto ng pakikipsa, sa punto ng pagpaliwanagan sa isa't isa, laging sinasabi na ang ating mga binibitawan daw sa pagkakataong nakikipagdebate o nakikipagdiskusyon tayo ay tila nawawala tayo sa dapat nating sabihin. Ibig sabihin nito ay yung katanungan ay naghahanap ng kasagutan na lost ba talaga ang mga kabataang Pilipino. At ngayong pandemya, nakita natin na marami ang nagtatanong. No? Kung napansin po natin noong nagkaroon ng Sangguniang Kabataan elections way back in 2018, ay nakita natin na ilan sa mga pagbabago para sa hamon ng liderato ng bawat mga kabataang Pilipino. Ngunit, ang tanong nga na paulit-ulit din nating naririnig, lalo-lalo na nagsimula yung pandemya, ba't tila ata nawawala ang mga kabataan? Meron daw tayong sinasabing misplaced, no? Misplaced anger. Meron daw tayong misplaced judgment na kung saan ay mas pinipili nating makipag-away sa mga nakatatanda o kaya naman sa ilang mga hindi nakaiintindi sa atin. Kaya ang lagi nilang sinasabi ay nawawala daw tayo. Kaya sa hapong ito, susubukan nating sagutin kung nawawala nga ba talaga ang mga kabataan. At yung pangatlong tanong na gusto nating malaman dahil ang tema ng usapan ngayon ay pagbubuklod. No? Paano nga ba natin bubuklodin ang mga kabataang Pilipino? Tayo bilang mga student leaders, isang malaking katanungan, paano natin gagawin ang mga activities na ating inilatag, no? Para mas lalo nating maipakita ang ating pagpupursige sa mga kasamahan din nating mga nag-aaral. At gayon din, no, ay bigyan ng espasyo ang pagkakataon para i-prove as well to our advisors and even our professors na ang kailangan natin ngayon ay really, no, to look on how we as young Filipinos would be able to really create change as part of the greater society. No, ito yung mga katanungan na gusto nating hanapan ng sagot. Mga katanungang maaring ilan sa atin ay pwede nating tanungin sa sarili. Pwede nating instead na sabihin na wala ba ang kabataan, pwede nating sabihin o tanungin ang ating mga sariling nawala ba ako? Nawawala ba ako? O wala na ba ako? So ito yung mga bagay na gusto nating pag-usapan ngayong hapon. But bilang pagtutugma nitong hinahanap natin, no, tingnan naman natin kung ano yung pagsasalarawan ng ilan sa mga news articles o sabihin na natin na ilan sa mga naging basihan kung bakit sinasabing nawawala, nawala, o kaya naman ay nagwawala ang mga kabataan. So tignan natin ang ilan sa mga sinasabi ng ilan sa mga social media articles o kaya naman sa ilang mga pahayag. No? Sinasabi nila today daw, ang mga kabataan daw ay bahagi ng snowflakes generation. Ibig sabihin, kapag meron daw tayong narinig na isang bagay na hindi akma sa ating paniniwala, mabilis daw tayong magalit, mabilis daw tayong magtampo, at mabilis daw tayong mag-react. In some of the articles that we can see and we read, no, even in some of the researches that we have, especially, no, na when they are asking the youth's contribution in nation building, sinasabi na ang millennials daw at ang Gen Z daw ay tinatawag na snowflake generation, no? Sa ibang tema, no, ang Gen Z ay tinatawag na strawberry generation. Ano bang ibig sabihin nito? Ibig sabihin nito na mahilig lang daw tayong makinig sa mga pangungusap o mga pahayag na nakaakma sa ating paniniwala. Paano ba natin to isasalarawan? Una, no, maraming nakakarinig sa atin na dahil nga tayo ay mas aktibo sa social media, tayo ay aktibo sa paggamit ng teknolohiya, ay maraming mga sabihin na natin na bahagi ng boomers, no? Na or even yung mga hindi bahagi ng Gen Z or even millennials ay nagsasabi na hindi daw tayo magaling makipag-usap. Nawawala daw sa atin ang paggalang at gayon din ang pagrespeto sa mga nakatatanda. Hence, they tagged us as the snowflakes generation. Snowflakes because the moment that you put fire into it, the moment that you put the snowflake, quote-unquote, sa isang mainit na lugar, ay nalulusaw daw tayo. Ibig sabihin ay para tayong mga kabataan, tayong henerasyon ng mga kabataan na walang sariling paniniwala. So ito yung tinitignan at sinasabi ng ilan sa mga paglalarawan sa mga kabataan ngayon. Pangalawa, tayo daw ay bahagi ng tinatawag na TikTok generation. Tayo ay bahagi ng isang malawakang propaganda in such a way that we use or we consume a lot of contents from TikToks or even to different social media platforms. And somehow, we were able to really build our own echo chambers. When we say echo chambers, ibig sabihin nito ay meron tayo lamang nakakulong o nakakulong lamang tayo sa sarili nating paniniwala. Ilan sa mga naririnig natin na tanong ay, ano ba naman tong mga kabataang to? Instead na mag-aral, magbasa at maintindi ng mga dapat na gawin, ay mas naniniwala pa sa mga napapanood. O kaya naman, may ilan sa atin na ang dami raw nating sinasabi, ang dami raw nating alam bilang mga kabataan. At dahil gusto nating magbahagi ng ating kaalaman, ay dumarating daw tayo sa punto na ayaw na nating makinig. Ilan lamang ito sa mga paulit-ulit nating naririnig, lalong-lalo na kapag tinatanong na meron ba talagang pag-asa ang mga kabataang Pilipinong umahon? Meron ba tayo talagang mga pag-asa bilang mga kabataan na maging susunod na leader ng ating bansa? At dahil nga ito yung ibinabato sa atin palagi, that we are the TikTok generation who has our own echo chambers, ay natatakot daw tayong pakinggan ang naratibo ng mga nakatatanda. Ito yung sa ilan sa mga bagay na alam nating medyo masakit, pero gusto nating hamunin. Sapagkat sa pagkakataong ito, nandito tayo sa espasyo na kailangan maintindihan din tayo ng lalong-lalo na ng mga naunang henerasyon sa atin. At ang pangatlong paglalarawan sa atin ay tayo raw ay mga kabataan na kung saan ay we don't care. Tayo daw ang I don't care generation. I know familiar kayo sa isang Korean song na titled ng I don't care. But in most cases, ito yung mga paglalarawan na ibinabahagi sa atin na tayong daw henerasyon ng mga kabataan ay walang pakialam sa bukas, walang pakialam sa ngayon, at lalong-lalo nang walang pakialam sa nakaraan. Okay? Ano ba yung pinanggagalingan ng mga ganitong bagay? Because some of the people who are, of course, describing us bilang I don't care or we don't care generation, ay dahil tayo raw ay hindi na kapag-socialize. Ibig sabihin, mas gugustuhin nating manatili sa four corners of our rooms, it's either maglaro ng mga mobile applications. O kaya naman ay dumating tayo sa punto na kahit na meron ng nangyayaring kaguluhan sa ating mga paligid, basta hawak lamang natin ang ating mga cellphones, hawak lang natin ang ating mga gadgets, makapag-tweet lamang tayo, makapag-post lamang tayo ng mga updates na patungkol sa sarili natin, wala tayong pakialam sa ibang mga tao. So ito yung ilan sa mga larawan na paulit-ulit din nating naririnig at hindi lamang sa social media. Pag natin ang ating mga siguro, mga nanay at tatay, maaring dumating sa punto na sinabihan tayo na wala naman kayong pakialam na henerasyon. Mas pinipili ninyong unahin ng inyong sarili. Mas pinipili ninyong maging sariling paglulutas ng inyong problema o kaya naman ay mas pinipili ninyong sarilinin ang lahat ng bagay. Therefore, they always tag us as the I don't care generation because they feel na tayo raw mga kabataan ay talaga namang mas focus lamang sa ating mga sarili. So ito yung ilan sa mga paglalarawan sa mga kabataang Pilipino ngayon. Ito din yung ilan sa mga naririnig natin paglalarawan sa mga kabataan student leader, na wala daw tayong pakialam, na wala daw tayong mayroon tayong sariling echo chamber at higit sa lahat, hindi tayo marunong makinig sa pagwawasto. So ito yung ilan sa mga naratibo na naririnig natin from time to time. Pero, tignan muna natin kung paano naman tayo sinasalarawan ng mas malaking pagkakataon o mas malaking siguro plataforma, which is of course no mga researches and of course mga news reports, no? In an article dito sa Biz News, no, ang sabi dito that tayo daw, why millennials are too soft and who's to blame, ay because tayo daw ay biktima ng mga maling desisyon ng mga naunang henerasyon. Ibig sabihin, instead na nasagot na yung o na-resolve na o nagkaroon na ng tamang solusyon ang mga problemang kinaharap ng ating mga nanay at tatay, ng ating mga lolo at lola, no, ay patuloy pa rin nating kinakaharap ngayon. So for example, when we talk about youth participation on policy making, ilan sa mga sinasabi ng ilan sa mga nakatatanda sa atin, lalong-lalo na sa usapin ng mental health, na hindi daw uso ang mental health. Gawa-gawa lamang daw natin ito, no? At iniisip ng ilan sa mga matatanda na nag-iinarte lamang daw tayo kapag sinasabi nating depressed ako today, malungkot ako today, o kaya naman ay wala akong ganang gumawa ng kahit na anong aktibidades ngayong araw. So ilan ito sa mga naisabi o naihayag sa article na to, no? So why are we really called a snowflake generation? And why millennials are really too soft? And who's to blame? No? Alam natin na tayo, millennials and Gen Z or the strawberry generation, tayo ay nakulong. Si millennials, kung papansin natin no, sa hanay ng paglatag ng henerasyon, kung meron tayong baby boomers, no? Meron tayong Gen X, no? Tayong millennials ay nagfo-fall doon tayo sa transition na tinatawag. Ibig sabihin, namuhay tayo ng hybrid. In the first part of our years, no, tayo ay naka-experience na mag-library still. Pumasok sa library, maghanap ng mga dapat hanaping libro. Pero dumating din tayo daw sa punto na kung saan ang mga millennials ay nagkaroon ng pagkakataong ma-introduce sa iba't ibang advancement ng teknolohiya. For example, social media. No? Pangalawa ay ang paggamit ng different devices. No, dati, uso lamang noon ang typewriters. Uso lamang noon ang pagsulat kamay. Ngayon, marami na tayong pamamaraan para makapagsulat. Maaring sa tablet, maaring sa ating mga respective smartphones, no? O kaya naman ay meron tayong sariling computer. Ibig sabihin, ang millennials ay dumating sa pagkakataon na meron tayong dalawang phase na tinitignan. Una, ay yung panahon na lahat ay manual at pangalawa ay lahat naman ay digital. Sa kwento naman ng Gen Z, no, yung mas bata after ng millennials, ay nasabi na tayo daw o sila naman daw ang unang henerasyon na lahat ay digital. No? If I'm not mistaken, your generation will fall basically under the Gen Z. Kasi sa level ko, I am part of the millennials. No? Pero later part of the millennials. But for you guys as Zennials, no? Sa ibang term ay Zennials ang tinatawag or Gen Z. No? Nasa inyo daw kapangyarihan o nasa inyong karanasan na ma-experience na lahat ng bagay ay digital. No? Nung nagsimula ang pandemya, lahat natin, naramdaman natin na hindi or for quite some time, no, hindi naging uso yung cash payments. Lahat ay electronic payments. At meron din tayong naririnig na mga information about bitcoins or even cryptocurrencies. So, naging mabilis. Mas mabilis yung naging advancement ng mga panahon ng Gen Z sa paggamit ng mga teknolohiya. No? For example, ngayon, tinitignan natin sa pag-aaral, even as a student leader. No? Dati, kami, kaya naming makapag-aral kahit isang device lamang. Ibig sabihin, computer man yan or laptop man yan, basta provided that it would be able to help us out, no, to really champion or to really graduate from one challenge to the other. But right now, no, nagiging crucial din na sa isang student leader, no, minsan ang nagiging hamon ay meron tayong at least 2 devices. And because, it's also mainly because now, nagiging mabilis yung pag-consume natin ng technology, nagiging mabilis yung pag-update ng teknolohiya sa atin. At syempre, ito yung ilan sa mga laging ibinabalanse sa atin mga kabataang leader ngayon na nabasa nyo lang naman yan sa isang electronic source, hindi yan totoo. So, may mga ganun mga misconceptions or mga connotations, no, na being shared to us, na being explained or even, of course, no, being manifested to us. So, paano ba natin ito sasagutin? No, another description sa atin bilang mga kabataan, ito naman ay isang article, no, that's basically, no, that is describing why Gen Z will change the way we work. So according to the article from HRD, yung pandemic daw ay nakapagbigay ng mas malaki o mas mataas na espasyo ng anxiety levels hindi lamang sa mga Gen Z na nag-aaral ngayon, but ganun din sa malaking bulto o malaking grupo o populasyon ng mga nagtatrabaho. No? Some of the anxiety levels or issues being raised by a lot of professionals right now ay merong tinatawag na takot. Takot in such a way that we might be challenged by younger generations because they are more adept to technologies, they are more adept to the present realities that we have right now, especially in the employment sector. May ilan naman sa atin, lalong-lalo na sa parte ng mga millennials, ang nagsasabi na mas mataas ang enerhiya ng Gen Z. No? Gayon din, meron pa naman, syempre, sa mga part ng mga Gen X and mga boomers, no, na sinasabi nila na yun daw mga kabataan ngayon ay pwede nang palitan ang kanilang mga trabaho. Diba? Nakita naman natin, no, during the pandemic, there are a lot of things that really happened and even catalyzed, no, the expansion and even extension of technologies. Ngayon, dati, hindi natin na-appreciate na magkaroon ng mga online meetings. Hindi natin na-appreciate ngayon ng online classes. Hindi natin na-appreciate ngayon na makulong sa loob ng bahay. But because of the pandemic, we were actually pushed, no, to adapt quickly with the present realities that are present, no, in our society. But in that study, according to HRD daw, no, ilan din sa mga nasabi about Gen Zs ay sobrang anxious natin. Yung stress level natin sobrang taas. Yung anxiety level natin ay sobrang taas because we are afraid what will happen in the future. No? Ilan din sa mga nakwento, base na rin sa research na ito, ay natatakot daw ang mga younger generations to really take responsibility and accountability on the things that we are doing. No? So, allow me to read this one, no. Sa according to the study, no, 95% daw believe that the pandemic will affect their job prospects. Ito ay patungkol sa isang group study ng DHL. And yung kanilang fears ay not, no, founded dahil lamang sa mas magaling ang mga Gen Z, but rather it also shows, no, that Gen Z candidates daw were twice as likely to be unemployed during the pandemic compared with workers from other age groups like baby boomers, Gen Xers, and even millennials. No? Kasi nga daw, dahil ang mga kabataan daw ngayon, lalo na ang mga Gen Z, ay nakulong sa loob ng kanilang mga bahay, therefore, there is no possibility to really engage with a lot of people, to engage with your classmates, to engage face-to-face with your professors. Therefore, ito yung pinanggagalingan ng anxiety level na yun. No? And to share it further pa, meron nag-debunk ng data na yun, na yung assumption daw that Gen Z is the strawberry generation or made up of snowflakes generation, no? Just share with you, yung term na strawberry generation ay coined siya sa East Asia. At ito yung ginagamit sa mga kabataan para sabihin na, naku, ang bilis nating umiyak. Tayo daw kasi yung generation, or even the Gen Z generation, kapag sinampal o binigyan natin ng realidad, ay mabilis daw tayong umiyak. At isang paglarawan dito ay, para lang daw tayong mga prutas na kapag binigyan natin ng pressure, pag binigyan tayo ng pressure, ay mabilis tayong mag-quit sa hamon and even sa mga may hirap na bagay. And usually, no, yung ilan sa mga stereotyping sa mga kabataan ay tayo daw ay serial job hoppers, especially for millennials who are also watching right now. And I know you have some professors who are also watching as well. No? Ilan sa mga paglarawan, tayo daw mga millennials naman, na bahagi pa rin ng age na ito, ay tayo daw ay job hoppers. Serial job hoppers yung term na sinasabi. Because we are not even loyal in one company or in one work as compared to the previous generation that somehow they retain their employment for more than 20, 30 years. Yung iba naman, doon na tumanda. No? Sa paglalarawan ng ilan sa mga kritiko ng mga kabataan, no, na bahagi ng millennials at Gen Z, ay tayo daw ay selfish. Tayo din daw ay arrogante. Because we always challenge every instructions o every utos na pinoprovide ng ating mga respective bosses. No? Sinasabi din ng ilan, base sa kanilang experience o base sa kanilang pag-aaral as well, no? Na ang sinasabi ng mga older generations daw ay hindi natin kayang i-withstand yung pressure. Na sinasabi ng ilan sa mga mas nakakatanda sa atin, nung panahon nga namin, natitiis namin kahit na more than 8 hours a day kami magtrabaho. So, ito yung mga gantong misconceptions, no? Nang sinasabi na sa atin ng mga ilan sa mga nakatatanda. But gayon pa man, no, in the Western version naman, nung tinatawag nating strawberry generation from the East Asia side, yung snowflake naman ay usually used to label individuals as entitled. Ibig sabihin, kapag sinabi daw natin na kailangan ko ng ganitong bagay, dapat mangyari. No? Siyempre, narinig natin yan in most cases, no? Na laging, bakit ba ang dami mong demand? Bakit ba ang daming demand ng henerasyon na to? Demand for faster internet. Lalo ngayon, di ba? Demand for better service. Demand for better transportation options. Better economic platforms and so on and so forth. No? Tayo rin daw ay isa sa mga henerasyon that is easily offended, overly emotional, and even self-obsessed with their perceived uniqueness. In the advent of social media, I know some of you, especially student leaders or young leaders like me or like us, no? Somehow we always capture our effectiveness and our efficiency based on the number of likes, the number of hearts, and even the number of comments that we receive on social media. No? Nagkakaroon, well, based na rin ito sa ilang mga kwento, na kung saan daw ay kaya tayo mabilis ma-offend, kaya tayo mabilis or overly emotional is because pagka 20 likes lang daw yung pinost nating photos or yung status natin online or yung tinweet natin in the different platforms or pinakita natin in our different social media anchors, no, or platforms, nalulungkot daw tayo agad. So ito yung pagsasalarawan sa atin at ito yung sinasabi nga nila that we are self-obsessed with with our perceived uniqueness. Na yes, ito yung kakayanan ko, kailangan bigyan nyo ako ng palakpak. Kailangan i-heart ninyo ako. Kung maganda yung suot ko today, kailangan ninyo yung photo ko. No? So ito yung ilan sa mga nagiging tanong at nagiging naratibo ng iilan sa mga kausap at kakilala natin, lalong-lalo na sa perspektibo ng paglarawan sa atin bilang isang bahagi ng henerasyon. And with a study, no, co-published by the C and the World Economic Forum, no, it actually shows Gen Zs and even millennials, no, tayo daw ang merong mas mataas. Dinidebunk nila yung idea na nasabi ko sa inyo kanina, na yung millennials and even the Gen Zs daw has the higher resilience and resourcefulness. No? Research showed that 3 in 4 youth or young people demonstrated their adaptability during the crisis. Ito ay in comparison with the data that they received, no, pre-pandemic and even during pandemic. And in the case of young people right now, especially kayo bilang mga student leaders, kung napansin niyo, no, running in an election na virtual lamang ang labanan, minsan malaking katanungan, hala, paano ba ako mangangampanya? Hala, paano ko ba makuha ang suporta ng bawat isang mag-aaral sa aming organisasyon o kaya naman sa buong community ng CEU? Either if you belong to the different campuses that were in either in Bulacan or Malolo, should I say, Makati and even in Manila. No? But based on the study by the World Economic Forum and CINO, sinasabi dito that tayo daw, young people, we're able to really build our own pandemic preparedness. It was actually a result of a 48%, no, based on the total population ng naging bahagi ng study. At na kung saan tayong mga kabataan daw were able to really pick up new skills, which is amounting to 41% of the total respondents ng study. No? Pick up new skills in such a way. I know some of you dati, hindi natin alam paano ba mag-navigate ng isang online session. How can we make sure that our online events will be something that we can see on TV? No? So ganon yung tipo ng bagay na nakikita natin as part and process of the whole perspective, no, ngayong pandemya. And also, no, based on the study na na-released as well by the World Economic Forum and even the C, ay sinasabi din dito that younger generations were able to really pick up new sources of income. So young employees were more likely to develop pandemic resistance, while students were more likely to adopt new skills. And building entrepreneurs, on the other hand, work on developing new business models, no, to expand their respective sources of income. So dito, kumakatawan yung paglalarawan ngayon na china-challenge yung mga naunang pagsasalarawan sa atin, as I've mentioned to you earlier. No? And another thing that we are also seeing with a lot of news right now, no, especially that the May 2022 elections is, of course, less than a year already, and we were able to know who are really the different key leaders who will be running in the May 2022 elections, both in the local and national level. We can always see a lot of news articles lately that also amplify, no, the young people's concern or the young people's participation in the upcoming May 2022 elections. According to the press release provided by the COMELEC, no, through the Information and Information Dissemination EID ng COMELEC, no, kay Director James, he mentioned that there is a big possibility, and based on data, that 52% of young people will be joining the May 2022 elections. So kung meron tayong 100 na botante, ibig sabihin 52 daw doon, no, ang bahagi ng electorate. So in every 100 voters, there is a possibility, or there is statistically, no, meron daw 52 students or young people who will be joining in the elections. And mind you as well, no, it is also good thing to note that the Commission on Elections, through the help of the both houses in the Congress, like the House of Representatives and the Senate, they were able to really push for the extension of the registration, which will end until October 30 of this month. And I hope that as young leaders, you would be able to really register and invite more people in your generation to really register and participate in the May 2022 elections. And sabi ng COMELEC, no, if we would be able to collaborate, if we will be able to converge as one voting bloc, then most probably we would be able to dictate the outcome of the elections. So ito yung mga impormasyon, ito yung mga bagay na ibinibigay o pinapakita sa atin ng datos, gayon din ng mga balita. At going back lang din, no, doon sa article na ipinrovide, no, ng Commission on Elections through the Manila Standard, ay sabi dito, no, if the youth can get its act together, it can become a very significant voting bloc. According to COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez, ito. And basically, the youth will be able to dictate much of the outcome of the elections as well as the shape of the government to come. Ibig sabihin, even if, no, merong mga pagsasalarawan sa atin na tayo ay snowflake, tayo ay TikTok generation, na quote-unquote tayo ay I don't care generation, if we would be able to act together, to gather ourselves, and make sure and believe in the process of changing the landscape of leadership in our country, then most probably we have the power to shape, no, the navigation of our country. And in so far, no, in support to this one, tayo bilang mga student leaders, are really asking the bigger question. How can we really challenge the status quo? How can we really challenge, in the more Konyo language, how can we make laban? No, how can we expand, or even in the other sense, no, how can we really participate and show and put ourselves out there to be part of the greater scheme of things, no, and which is of course mirrored by participation, critical participation in all aspects of development, either in nation building, good governance, democratic process, and so on and so forth. And in this case, allow me to quote Heifetz, Grasso, and Linsky. This is actually a good quote from these authors, that sabi nila, it will take a lifetime to achieve your highest and most notable aspirations for your community, your organization, and the world. Yet you accomplish something in the right direction every day. Sabi nila, mahalaga daw dapat maliwanag sa atin mga kabataan, lalong-lalo na ang mga bahagi ng millennial leaders or even the Xennial leaders or Gen Z leaders, na we would have to make sure that we have a sense of direction already. No? Kailangan nating maniwala that we have the power to really elevate the discussions. And even if we are staying at home, managing our own respective affairs, such as our assignments, o kaya naman ang ating mga different projects, or even doing virtual activities, kailangan nating isipin na simpleng step every single day would have a big impact later on. No? Pero syempre, alam naman natin na tayo bilang mga kabataan, ilan sa mga naging sakit natin ay gusto nating mag-perform every single day. Ibig sabihin, kailangan daw 100%, more than 100% every single day. No? And because kulang tayo sa pagkakataon na mag-meet ng face-to-face ngayon because of the pandemic, and most probably, minsan ang bilis nating madrain. And as student leaders, as the next generation leaders of our country, it is our main duty to also take pace on what we are doing. Ibig sabihin, we answer the different questions one at a time. Or we finish different aspirations one step at a time. And according to Heifetz, Grasso, and Linsky, even if we have bigger dreams, notable aspirations by way of our community work, our organization activities, or even the whole country or nation as a whole, or even the whole world, we have to also consider that we are also doing something good if we are even if we are accomplishing small things every single day. Ang mahalaga lamang dito is that we would be able to really magnify and even amplify the good deeds that we are doing as young people. And now, sa question kung paano ba tayo magbubuklod bilang mga kabataan, we have to take note of these three important things. Number one, tayo dapat ang magsimula, in challenging the status quo in terms of building new spaces, expanding the narrative, and even expanding the spaces for conversations. I know some of you might really be saying na, sir, o kaya kuya naman, masyadong limitado ang oras ko para makipag-usap pa. O kaya naman, kuya, presidente na nga ako ng student organization ko, ang dami pa naming gagawing activities. Wala na akong panahon para mag-build pa ng new spaces. But again, remember, going back with the perspective that we have right now, if we would like to answer the question kung nasaan nga ba tayo, kailangan nating tignan mabuti that one way that we can invite younger generations to also follow and take the lead, the same thing that we are doing right now, ay kailangan nating bumuo ng bagong espasyo. Build our own or build new spaces na kung saan merong critical discussions, merong respect sa isa't isa, at ang pinakamahalaga, there is a better understanding of where we are right now and what we want to do. Second point that I would like to share before we proceed to the next point, is that tayo bilang student leaders, if we want to really organize and even converge, magbuklod, magsama-sama, we have to strengthen our relationships. Our goal must be centered on building spaces and strengthening our relationships. No? Kung gusto nating i-challenge ang status quo na tayo daw ay snowflake generation, then we have to show the world that we are ready to embrace the challenge of strengthening our relationships. Paano? Number one, no? Instead of engaging sa mga may hirap na kausap na tao, most probably expand natin yung patience natin. Put ourselves in their shoes. Empathize. No? Let's put our empathy. Let's practice empathy in every conversations that we do. But in any case, if we want to engage at yung kausap naman natin ay talagang sarado naman na din ang kanilang mga pag-iisip, and then most probably thank them as well. At least you were able to understand where they are coming from. And from there, we can chart new things. We can chart new spaces para at least mas lumalim ang conversations natin sa iba't iba pang mga bahagi pa ng ating komunidad. And third point, in terms of expanding, or yung convergence tayo magbubuklod bilang mga kabataang Pilipino, we have to also redefine our true north. Bahagi ng tema ng inyong Leadership Congress for 2021 ay ipakita yung pagpinta ng tinatawag nating bagong bayan. Ibig sabihin, bagong bayan, bagong komunidad. O pwede rin siguro bagong pamamaraan para mas lalo tayong maintindihan at mas lalo tayong magkaroon ng espasyong makapag-usap at magkaintindihan. Going back again, in expanding, dahil ang tanong ngayon ay pagbubuklod, we have to also take note yung 3 important lessons that I shared to you earlier. Build new spaces, strengthen relationships, and third point, redefine our true norths. Ang true norths natin is the one, na kung saan tayo tinatawag para mas makapagsilbi. As student leaders and even the next generation of leaders of our country, our goal is to secure, the next generation to have a better community, a better country, and even stronger ties with a lot of people. So ito yung bagay na dapat nating tingnan as always. At paano magagawa to? Paano natin magagawa itong mga bagay na to? Let me share with you another lesson. Number 1, manifest. Let's always manifest the things that we want to achieve. As leaders, as young leaders, minsan, ang dami nating to-do list. Ang dami nating gustong gawin sa buhay. Ang dami nating pangarap na gustong i-claim. And if we really want, to really expand and even make sure and have a shared responsibility with one another, yung pagbubuklod ng bawat isa para makabuo ng bagong bayan, we have to manifest that. How do we do that? By engaging, respectfully, either online or offline. Pangalawa, we have to also manifest na hindi, kung naisip natin na kukulong tayo sa 4 corners ng ating classroom, we have to also manifest na ngayon lamang ito. Manifest in such a way that you are claiming that we are the change that we seek, sabi nga ni Barack Obama. We are the change that we need right now. Second point that I would like to share with you is always ask clarity. As leaders, importante na meron tayong pagkakataon at kung gusto natin ay magkaroon ng tamang pagbubuklod at mahigitan ang pagbubuklod ng mga nauna pang henerasyon, we have to also ask clarity and even alignment on the values that we are willing to champion for one another. For example, when we talk about servant leadership, when we talk about honesty, when we talk about accountability, when we talk about good governance, these are the simple ripples or even elements that we have to really ask clarity with, especially when we are part of the larger community. As young leaders, ang kakayanan natin ay magtanong, mag-usisa. I-challenge palagi ang katanungan o ang present scenario dahil gusto nating malaman na meron pa bang pwedeng gawin? Meron pa bang pwedeng pagkatulungan? So mahalaga na maliwanag sa atin ito bilang mga leaders because it is our it is our responsibility to take that cudgels, to take that space that would be able to help our classmates, our teachers, yung mga tricycle drivers, mga ngisda, and all. No? Sabi nga ni Rica Bautista na sabi niya, pag ng bagong bayan. And from Pam Cruz as well, I would like to highlight this from the comment section. No? Hashtag Buklod Kabataan. Let's manifest that we are the change we need in our country and community. And from Brian Kyle Doliente, sabi niya, when in doubt, ask. Mahalaga po palagi as leaders, tayo young leaders, as early as now, we have to ask things. Hindi dahil gusto nating maghanap ng mali, hindi dahil dahil gusto lang natin mag-comment o yung sa ibang parlance ay mema lang daw tayo, may masabi, no? We are asking for clarity because we want to align ourselves. Ano ba yung direction that we would like to go? Where do we want to go as one community? And as young leaders, nasa sa atin to. No? Iwan na natin ang pagkakataon. Yes, pwede nating sabihin na ang daming problemang sinasalo ng mga kabataang Pilipino simula sa mga maling desisyon ng mga nauna sa atin. But, sabi nga nila, mataas ang enerhiya natin at sa enerhiyang yun, kailangan natin ng clarity. Sabi ni Brian, buklod para sa bayan. And if we want to buklod, if we want to be organized, if we want to be part of a greater community, we have to ask clarity. Okay? And third point that I would like to share as well, be honest. Ito, alam ko sa pagkakataong ito, minsan mahirap siyang gawin, lalong-lalong na yung sense of responsibility ay mas naka-shoulder sa atin. For example, if you are taking your respective quizzes online, 'di ba? Meron mga instance na kung saan ay mag-open notes ba ako while answering the quiz? Meron ako nakita in one university, that one issue na being raised by their professors is the honesty of the students. Because they feel na kapag dahil virtual space yung ginagamit, may posibilidad na merong mga notes na nakalagay dyan kung tabi-tabi para sagutin yung mga questions. But, syempre, if we want to build a bagong bayan, let us accept that the first step to do that is to be honest. Merong different ways to really manifest yung honesty. Number one, pwedeng sabihin natin hindi natin kaya. Bakit? Paano ba, kuya, magiging bahagi ito ng honesty? Paano ba natin mabubuklod kung kailangan maging honest sa isa't isa? Tandaan natin, when we build relationship, kanina sinabi ko strengthening relationships, we have to make sure na tayo ay honest din. Kung hindi talaga natin kaya, then tell it to the community. Because in that way, it's some sort of saying, kailangan ko ng tulong. When we are honest on the things that we can do and we cannot do, and we are also inviting more people to help us as well. Ito, yung hamon para tanungin at i-challenge, nasaan ka ba nung kailangan kita? Nasaan ka ba, kabataan? Nung kailangan namin ng mas malaking inobasyon, nung kailangan namin ng mas maraming boses. Which is why being an honest person is something that can reveal your true self. Because when we are honest, we are also opening the gates of transparency. We are opening the gates of leadership. And of course, we are opening the gates of accountability. As shared by Micaela sa comment section natin, sabi niya, being honest and acknowledging everything that is happening in our community is the first step to address kung ano ba ang dapat natin gawin bilang kabataan, bilang isang Pilipino. Exactly. Kung papansinin nyo, the moment that we manifest something to happen, a positive thing to happen, and we ask guidance because of the clarifications that we are always asking, bakit kailangan gawin, ano ang dapat gawin, paano natin dapat gawin, at sinasabi natin sa lahat ng dapat natin gawin, ito yung kaya kong gawin, at ito pa yung willing akong matutunang gawin. And then most probably, we are building a community that is more honest, asking clarity as always, and of course, strengthened. Ibig sabihin, nagkakatulungan. Sana tayo ang henerasyon na bumasag, no? Bumasag sa pag-iisip na hindi tayo magkakaiba. Maaaring magkakaiba tayo ng school. Maaaring magkakaiba tayo ng paniniwala. Maaaring magkakaiba tayo ng pinaggagalingan o maaaring magkakaiba tayo ng tinutuntungang pangarap. Pero ang bandang dulo, if we want to build a nation, a new nation, a bagong bayan, no? We have to collaborate with each other. We have to be honest with each other. No? Because that is our responsibility. Dahil sa lahat ng pagkakaiba natin, isang bagay lang ang pwede nating sabing pagkakapare-pareho natin. We are Filipinos. Lahat tayo ay Pilipino. Therefore, we are doing these things, we are asking a lot of questions, we are being honest because ako ay isang Pilipino. 'Di ba? Sa panunumpangan natin, bahagi ng ating pagsumpa sa watawat ng Pilipinas, 'di ba? Ako'y nangangako. And sana in doing that so we would be able to really share no yung experience natin and yung capabilities natin as leaders. Yes, maaring sa inyo may ilang mga young leaders who are still hesitant, take the lead. But always remember, pag tayo ay natakot at hindi tayo naging honest, paano natin malalaman kung merong willing sa ating makinig? Merong willing sa ating magbigay ng diskurso o kaya ay tumulong sa atin. And going back with that thinking, no, we have to make sure that at the end of the day, kung gusto nating bumuo ng isang bagong bayan, ang pagbubuklod ay kailangang magsimula sa atin. And ano ba yung ilan sa mga leadership notes that I would like to share with you? I actually captured some of the quotable quotes, no, from the different movies, just at least to have a semblance of reality when we talk about pagbubuklod, when we are asking the questions, nawawala ba ang mga kabataan? So allow me to share some thoughts and you can take note of this one. So ito ay isang movie mula sa kay Maricel Soriano, no? Ang title ng movie na to ay if I'm not mistaken, it's Nasaan Ka? Sorry, Saan Darating ang Umaga? Sabi ni Maricel, and you can take note of this one, no? Sabi niya, ito yung gusto kong mga lessons that I would like to share with you and also something that you can think of as part of the greater community. Number one, sabi niya, wala sa damit, wala sa kulay ang pagmamahal. Nasa puso at nasa utak. Ulitin ko, wala sa damit, wala sa kulay ang pagmamahal. Nasa puso, nasa utak. And as leaders, if we are challenging the status quo, kung gusto nating maging bahagi ng mas malaking aktibong pamayanan, kailangan maintindihan natin that ang pagmamahal ay wala sa kulay. Ang pagmamahal ay wala sa pagkakaiba-iba. Ang pagmamahal ay dapat nasa puso at nasa pag-iisip. Ito yung dapat nating tignan bilang bahagi ng pagkakapantay-pantay ng bawat isa sa atin. No? Another thing that I would like to share with you ay, I don't know if narinig nyo na yung kataga ni Sister Stella L. No? Ang sinabi niya ay kung walang kikilos, sinong kikilos? Kung di ngayon, kailan pa? Ito ang tagal na nitong movie na to. But if we would be able to dissect the message, ini-invite tayo bilang mga kabataang Pilipino to challenge the status quo and to even start doing things as early as now. Simpleng pagtatapon ng basura. Simpleng pagsagot ng totoo at hindi. Simpleng pakikipagtalas-tasan ng may respeto at pagmamahal. Ito yung bagay na dapat nating tinutungtungan. I know some of you, sige, quick check up lang sa mga nandyan sa mga nasa comment section natin. Sino na dito ang nakapanood ng Hello, Love, Goodbye? Meron ba na nakapanood na ng Hello, Love, Goodbye? Sabi ni Micaela, Micaela, nakapanood ka ng Hello, Love, Goodbye? Si Micaela lang ba ang nakapanood ng Hello, Love, Goodbye? Sa mga 280 natin from Facebook. Si Nicole. Konti lang ba? Si Rika. Ayan. Si Pam, si Mara. I know some of you guys really watch it even before pa nagkaroon ng pandemic. 'Di ba? Sabi ni 'di ba? Sabi ni Joy, no? Kaya niyo naman si Joy Fabregas, 'di ba? With Catherine Bernardo, sabi ni Joy, sabi niya kay Alden, no? ang choice para lang sa may pera. Pero kung idadissect natin noon, idadissect natin yung statement na yun ni Joy, kailangan natin din i-challenge na hindi lahat ng pagkakataon ay kailangan natin ng pera. Because as leaders, we can always mobilize ourselves by sharing what we can do, no? Without just considering yung mga monetary considerations. Kailangan nating i-challenge, sabi ko nga sa inyo, as clarity, pera lang ba talaga ba ang kailangan? Pera lang ba talaga ang puhunan para mas marating natin yung mga pangarap na binubuo natin? In some other cases, other people will always say, oo, kailangan ko ng pera. But again, at the end of the day, tayo bilang next generation of leaders, it is also our responsibility to take that choice and challenge that choice. No? And another quotable quote that I would like to share with you from Tonyo naman, kay Empoy, no, sa Kita Kita. Sabi niya, may mga bagay na kailangan mong paghirapan bago mo makuha. Same thing that I would like to share with you na kang pinapangarap natin na bagong bayan. Yung pinapangarap nating pagbubuklod sa isa't isa, regardless of our differences, kailangan nating paghirapan. Dahil kung lahat ay magiging madali, lahat ay magiging ibinibigay na lamang sa atin in one tip of the fingers natin, and most probably hindi ganon kasarap yung pagkakabuklod-buklod, which is why I always challenge you, for those who are watching us on Facebook and even on YouTube right now, my challenge to you is pilitin natin, no, na paghirapan ang isang bagay na gusto nating kuhanin. Because if we really want to build a more solid community, if we really want to take this challenge, to take the cudgels of creating the next future or a greater future for the next generation and even for us, kailangan nating paghirapan ang mga bagay-bagay. No? And I know some of you are also able to watch yung One More Chance, no? Nung scene na kung saan sinasabi ni Basha kay Poy, nung makikipag-break na siya, na I want to stop wondering what if. I want to know what is. Bilang student leaders, bilang next generation of our leaders, we have to take note that aside from asking clarity, aside from manifesting things, no? And being honest, kailangan iwaksi na natin o tigilan na natin ang pagtatanong what if. Because the moment that we ask our what ifs, we are limiting ourselves to really grow. We are limiting ourselves to expand our future. And if we want to build a new society, if we want to build a society that is founded with respect, acknowledgement, alignment, no, and honesty, then most probably we have to tell what is. We have to claim that space. And also, no, to challenge, no, nung isang movie na to, na sinabi naman ni Angelica Panganiban, sabi niya, come back to the young and beautiful you. Na aside from claiming our space, aside from doing things para sa bayan, aside from challenging ourselves to really do things more than other feeling, no? Kailangan nating bumalik na tayo pa rin ay bahagi ng kabataan. Na we have to go back to the young and beautiful us. Sabi nga ni Giboy, masarap sa feeling ma-achieve yung goal kahit sobrang hirap nang nangyari. Because it is also, no, happy to see na instead of us competing with each other, we are collaborating with each other. Yun yung dapat na bagay na dapat nating pagtulungan. Pagtulungan in order to build a better society. And that is, of course, the challenge of our generation. How can we make sure that when we want to paint a better community, a better future, we have to take note na we can only do those things if we understand each other. No? And aside from those things, meron akong baon na gustong i-share sa inyo as part ng ating discussion this afternoon. And I always call it as 4M. No? If we really want to build a better future, if we really want to build a greater future for the next generation and even for us, habang nandito tayo, no? We have to take on the challenge of maniwala. Kailangan nating maniwala na kaya natin. Kaya nating mag-manifest. Kaya nating mag-ask ng clarity. Kayang-kaya natin, no? Na baguhin ang pinta at kulay ng ating bansa at ng ating kinabukasan. The moment that we believe that we can do things, no? The more we can achieve. No? Next point is magtiwala. Nasa paniniwala natin na kaya nating gawin at baguhin ang bukas sa mga pinagsama-sama nating lakas. That's what pagbubuklod is all about. Kailangan nating magtiwala sa isa't isa. No? Because if we will be able to believe with one another, no? At magkatulungan tayo sa isa't isa, sabi nga ni Brian Kyle, walang madalian, lahat pinaghihirapan. No? Dahil kailangan natin muling magtiwala. Magtiwala na mayroong prosesong nangyayari. Magtiwala na ang lahat ng ginagawa natin ay mayroong pupuntahang maayos. Which also leaves on my third point, which is matuto. Kailangan nating matuto sa bawat bagay na alam natin bilang bahagi ng henerasyon na to. No? Kailangan nating tandaan na kung hindi tayo matututo sa ating mga pinagdadaanan at hindi tayo matututo as a community, then most probably, paulit-ulit-ulit lamang na mangyayari. It becomes a cycle that the next generation will always ask for the better country, a better community, no? A better leadership. Kaya mahalaga na dapat matuto, maging bukas tayo sa pagkatuto. No? At ang pinakamahalaga, ito sa M ko, na si-share sa inyo, ay kailangang magsimula muli. Bakit? No? Kung hindi tayo magsisimulang muli, paano natin matutulungan ang susunod na henerasyong maniwala, magtiwala, at matuto? At sa katanungan, no, na nasaan ba ang mga kabataan, siguro ang tamang sagot ay nandito. Patuloy na lumalaban, patuloy na pinagsusumikapan, at dapat patuloy na ipinaglalaban. Dahil naniniwala ako na pagkakataong ito, hindi naman talaga nawala ang bawat isang kabataang Pilipino. Baka ang dapat nating tanungin sa ating mga sarili, bakit kailangan ang kabataan para magbuklod? Instead of asking us, nasaan ba ang kabataan, baka kailangan ang tamang tanong, bakit kailangan ang kabataan para maniwala, magtiwala, matuto at makapagsimulang muli tayong lahat? And with that, I hope I was able to really share with you the importance of how we, as young people, can really manifest as clarity and syempre being honest as part of a greater scheme of things. And it is our responsibility to push, no, for a better and brighter future because again, at the end of the day, in every action that we will do, starting from now, no, dala-dala natin ang bawat laban ng bawat isa. And with that, maraming salamat po at magandang hapon sa ating lahat.
Thank you, Sir Chart, for that very extensive and progressive discussion for today. Your talk surely awakened the national consciousness of our student leaders, which is very much needed, especially that the national and local polls are fast approaching. Let's manifest for a peaceful election, always ask for clarity when in doubt, and be honest all the time. Once again, let us give Sir Chart a virtual round of applause. By the way, get ready with your comments, guys. You can type in your queries in the comment section so that we can read them to our dear speaker.
But before we call back Sir Chart for the open forum, let us all watch this performance by the University Student Council Manila together with the CU Singers Manila with their rendition of Susie, composed and performed by Van and Van.
Maligayang pagbati sa inyong lahat.
Narito tayo sa panibagong yugto ng ating buhay eskolarino at eskolarina.
Marami mang nagdaang pagsubok.
Sa nakaraang taon, taas noo, tayo ay tumindi.
At tuloy pa ring lumaban.
Kung bakit ka nagsimula.
At huwag susuko.
Sa anumang hamon ng buhay,
Ikaw pa rin ang susunod.
Ika'y nakulong sa maling pag-iisip. Pangarap mo raw mananatiling isang panaginip. Sabi nila, di raw kakayanin. Kaya't ika'y sumuko at nagsasyang huwag nang subukin.
Nagkamali ka nang napuntahan, pero ikaw ay natauhan. Maling ka lang sa tamang daan. Ang beses man, pati ba sumubsog? Kailan may gawing matatag ang iyong loob? Mga batikos, huwag nang diringgin. Pagkawalan lang yan sa hangin. Bukas ay malapit na rin dumating. Lumaban ka pa rin.
Balikan kung bakit ka nagsimula. Bago mo sabihin na ayaw mo na. Huwag mong susuluhin, di ka mag-isa. Ikaw pa rin ang susi sa pinto ng iyong tadhana. Nakulong, nakulong, nakulong ka. 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 Sa maling pag-iisip mo, nakulong ka. Pasanin man ang mundo. Huwag ka lang susuko. Nandito lang ako.
Mga batikos, huwag nang diringgin.
Pagkawalan lang yan sa hangin. Bukas ay malapit na rin dumating. Lumaban ka pa rin. Balikan kung bakit ka nagsimula. Bago mo sabihin na ayaw mo na. Huwag mong susuluhin, di ka mag-isa. Ikaw pa rin ang susi
Wow, that was indeed a heartfelt rendition of Susie. Thank you very much to our USC Manila officers and CEU Singers Manila.
That's right, Rob. Who would have thought that we, the USC officers, can level with CU Singers Manila?
I couldn't agree more, Nicole.
To proceed with the program, it's time to call back Mr. Chard Amazona for our Q&A. Sir Chard, are you in? Again, let us give it up for Mr. Chard Amazona. But of course,
Hi
before we ask our
guys.
participants, hello, Sir Chard.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
All right. Before we ask our participants, I would like to ask this question, sir, of course. With this coming national elections, since you have discussed earlier that there are about 52% of young voters, youth engagement from a political point of view is, of course, important. So the question is, what are some words of advice that you would give to the youth in general po?
Well, sa akin, no, para at least mas malaman nga natin, balikan natin yung pagtitiwala kanina, yung isang M, no? Kailangan nating magtiwala sa mga taong tumatakbo ngayong eleksyon. We have to also choose ano yung mga bagay na dapat natin bilang pag-apply, no, sa mga natutunan natin in the past years. In our crucial participation in the elections in the May 2022 is not just because we would want just to flaunt our numbers, no, bilang voters, but rather we are voting because we are looking forward to a better country that we are always achieving for, always dreaming of. Kasi kung dito in every elections tandaan natin, ito yung pagkakataon, ito yung kapangyarihan natin bilang isang bahagi ng mas malayang Pilipinas. And that is actually afforded to us by the Constitution. So therefore, para sa mga kabataang leaders natin, and even the young voters who will be participating, first-time voters in the elections, piliin natin, suriin natin ng ating mga nag-a-apply ng mga leader ng bansa. At alamin nating mabuti kung paano natin sila matutulungan. Dahil sa bandang huli, ang tunay na pagsisimula ay ang paglaban natin sa kung ano ang dapat at kung ano ang tama.
Thank you for that, Sir Chard. Actually, I totally agree with that po. And I always thought that that is the most important topic po that we have to discuss, most especially that we as the student leaders are very much united in this kind of situation that we have right now. So, of course, I would like to remind everyone then that 7 days left before the end of our registration. So please, please, please get your thumbs in para tayo ay makaboto at maging change sa ating Pilipinas, sa ating bansa, sa ating komunidad. Thank you for that, sir.
Of course, I don't like to be left out. So, may I ask also Sir Chard this question? Do you believe, Sir Chard, that the youth vote can make a huge impact in the next year's polls?
Ito lagi itong tinatanong sa akin even when I started my advocacy in terms of voters education and voters registration way back in 2013 bilang bahagi ng Youth Vote Philippines. At meron daw ba talagang kapangyarihan ang mga kabataang Pilipino to really change the landscape of our politics in the country? Sa akin, Robert, sa akin, Nicole, naniniwala ako na oo, nasa ating kapangyarihan, aside ng numbers, yung numero, nasa ating kakayanan kung paano natin dadalhin ang ating bansa. Pero kailangan natin munang matuto at magtiwala at maniwala sa isa't isa. Dahil kung patuloy tayong magbabangayan, kung patuloy tayong mag-aaway-away sa iba't ibang mga issue na hindi natin naiintindihan, o kaya naman ay tinatanggal natin yung safe space na tinatawag, yung espasyo na yon ng pag-uusap, and then most probably, doon tayo nagkakaroon ng problema. Pero babalik at babalik pa rin ako na kung kinaya nga natin dati, diba? Kung kinaya nga natin noon, na kahit na sobrang hirap, parang pagmamahal lang yan, diba? Parang pagmamahal sa pag-aaral, pagmamahal sa ating sarili, kahit na ang hirap at ang sakit-sakit na, magpapatuloy at magpapatuloy pa rin tayo dahil sabi nga, diba, pagka meron kang minamahal, dapat pinaglalaban.
Thank you, Sir Chard, for answering my question. I totally agree with that. And I think I'm confident that we can rely on youth vote to make a huge impact in the next year poll. So, you've got something to ask there, Nicole?
All right, Sir Chard, we have a question coming from one of the student leaders from Siena Rose. So, hello po, sir. Sir Chard, in relation po with the need, in relation po sa, what is this? We need to build relationships with others. What advice can you give on how do we connect and relate ourselves with the privilege who cannot seem to grasp the severity of what is happening because they are inside their luxury bubble? Thank you po.
Yung tanong ni Shena, no, simple lang yung sagot. Dalawang bagay yung gusto kong sabihin sa ating lahat. Una, we have to practice empathy. Saan ba sila nanggagaling? Bakit ba hindi nila naiintindihan yung ating kinakaharap? So by using the power of empathy, we would be able to understand better. Bakit ba ganun yung kanilang pag-iisip? Bakit ba ganun yung kanilang tinutuntungan na paniniwala? And then after natin silang maintindihan, ako naniniwala pa rin ako na pwede nating i-expand yung pakikipag-usap sa kanila. Because if we will not be able to expand, no, share natin yung thoughts and ideas natin sa kanila, then most probably, wala tayong magagawang maayos na plano. So, ang suggestion ko or siguro ang sagot ko sa tanong mo on building relationships, always remember, no, na dapat hindi kakaiba yung ugali natin online and even offline. Kung paano tayo makipag-usap sa isang face-to-face conversation, dapat ganun din tayong makipag-usap sa social media. Because if we want to build relationships, no, dapat marunong tayong i-cross yung bridge na kasama sila. Even if we have some differences, even if we have some concerns, and then most probably kailangan nating ipaintindi sa kanila na this is the reality that we are now. At tanungin natin, handa ba silang sumama dun sa pagbabagong bukas natin? Yun yung sagot ko, Robert and Nicole.
Alright, I totally agree with you, sir. Of course, we need to really be true to ourselves and of course to everyone. Alright, so what else do we have? Do we have any other questions left? Rob?
All right, we've got another question here. So, as a youth leader or student leader, how can we make an impact on the other voters beyond social media?
Ako sa akin, naniniwala ako with my experience, no, communicating with groups. Ako, just to share with you lang din, especially sa mga young leaders natin, para ma-inspire din kayo. Way back in 2016, no, pumunta tayo sa mga pinakamalalayong lugar. I was able to do voters education campaign sa Sambasulta, Sambuanga, Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi. At kasama ko doon yung mga young leaders na nagpupursige din para mas mapalawak yung kanilang kaalaman in terms of the elections. Sa akin, if we really want to go out of our boxes, even if ito, simpleng pagkausap lang, bago kayo bumili ng inyong suka, patis, o kaya naman bibili kayo ng ulam kung nakadorm kayo, and then you can just start discussing or having small conversations with the people around you. No? Hindi man natin pwedeng sabihin na dapat isuksok o pagsapalitan nating tanggapin dapat nila yung paniniwala natin, kailangan pa rin natin na makinig kung saan sila nanggagaling. Because sabi nila, importante na we have to listen with the ears of our heart. We have to stand, no, for what we think is possible. Because yung espasyo ng pag-uusap, yung espasyo ng pagkakaintindihan, even beyond social media, yung patuloy na pag-build ng relationship sa kanila, okay lang yun. So, ang pwede natin gawin, lumabas tayo sa social media, yung simpleng yung mga makakasalubong natin, kung kayo man ay sasakay ng jeep, yung mga makakasalubong natin ng mga tricycle drivers, o kaya yung mga nanay nagtitinda ng mga nilalako nilang paninda, no? Pwede natin silang kausapin. At mahalaga na pwede natin silang sabihin, ako mahalaga yung pagsasabi natin ng salamat. Salamat kahit na hindi tayo nagkakaintindihan. Salamat kahit na magkaiba yung paniniwala natin. Salamat kasi ngayon nakita ko kung saang perspektibo ka ba tumitingin. Para ngayon at least nakapag-build tayo ng small relationship with that person. Kahit na simple, pero kung papalawigin natin to, kung lahat tayo magiging ganon yung tingin, most probably we would be able to change, no, the landscape of discussion, especially on political participation in our country.
That is noted, Sir Chard. We should really connect with those voters that is outside social media because the world does not revolve around only to the voters that is in the social media. So up next, Nicole, you've got something to ask there.
All right. I also have a question coming from Raw and Nicole Padilla. So let me just read it to you, sir. Also, in relation to building relationships, can you give us an advice on how to engage in healthy discussions when we talk to other people about their political stand, especially those people who are not open to new information or facts?
Ito, alam natin, no, na some of us are really engaging a lot of conversations online. At may mga pagkakataon na minsan, nagkakainitan tayo. Ang aking tip or ang advice para sa to build to engage a healthy discussion, lagi tayong magtanong sa bakit. Bakit ba natin dapat siguro kunwari, merong isa tayong kasamahan na nakausap sa social media, tanungin natin bakit yun yung kanyang sinasabi o bakit yun yung option niya. And then, kung hindi pa rin natin makuha yung tamang sagot, palawigin natin, maari mo bang makwento sa akin? Kasi baka mamaya merong personal experience yung taong yun, kaya yun yung gusto niyang sabihin at yun yung gusto niyang kumbaga quote-in-quote, ay pagsimula ng pag-uusap. Pero syempre, ito yung isa sa mga tip din na minsan nakakalimutan natin, no to disengage when it's not healthy anymore. Hindi lahat ng conversation ay kailangang patulan. Hindi lahat ng diskusyon ay kailangan nating sakyan. Dahil hindi lahat ay maaaring tama. So if other people will continue, no, especially kapag meron tayo talagang sobrang hirap dahil buo na yung kanyang paniniwala, then don't push, no? Don't push yung paniniwala natin. Ang mahalaga, pasalamatan natin siya because meron siyang oras at pagkakataon na i-explain yung side niya. Pero lagi nating tatandaan, if the conversation becomes too toxic already, bilang isang susunod na leader ng ating bansa, no, we have to know when to engage. Dapat alam natin kailan tayo dapat tumigil. Because sa isang conversation, hindi lang naman laging ikaw ang magaling, hindi lang naman laging ang kausap mo ang magaling, dahil in every conversation, ang goal dapat natin, paano ba tayo matututo sa isa't isa. At sana yun yung culture na kailangan nating i-expand. Lalong-lalo na ngayon na most of our conversations are being done virtually. Ayun.
All right, thank you for that, Sir Chard. Of course, it is also important to always communicate when needed and not to just talk certain things that are not really important. So thank you for that, sir. All right, Rob, do you have any last question from our student leaders?
So we have a question from G-Boy Avanzado, and the question goes, good afternoon, Sir Chard. What can you say to those being apolitical at these times?
Ako naman, simple lang. No? Simple lang lagi ang sinasabing paalala sa ating mga kababayan na nanatili lamang tahimik, lalong-lalo na sa panahon na kailangan natin pumili ng tamang direksyon. Ang tanong ko lamang palagi sa kanila ay, okay na ba tayo sa present nating sitwasyon? Okay na ba tayo na sa buhay natin? Kung ang sagot ay oo, and then I respect your opinion or your option. Pero hikayatin pa rin natin sila na yung kanyang boto o yung kanyang pakikialam, kahit na ito ay iisa, ay pwedeng makapagpabago ng landscape na meron tayo ngayon. Sabi nga, 'di ba, kung napanood nyo yung movie ng Enola Holmes, 'di ba? Dun sa discussion point na politics, no, if we will not be able to involve ourselves in politics, and most probably nandun tayo sa lugar na kaya natin ayaw makialam dahil okay na tayo sa kung anong meron tayo. Pero isipin natin na kung ang gusto natin ay magkaroon ng pagbubuklod, kung ang gusto natin ay mapastrengthen pa yung relationships natin sa isa't isa, lalong-lalo na, no, to paint a better future for the next generation of our country, we have to really participate. Kasi isipin lamang natin na ito, dagdag ko na siguro, Robert and Nicole, no? Kaya daw sila hindi boboto kasi isang boto lang naman sila. Tandaan natin na ang isang boto natin, ang isang ating suhestyon, ang isang ating kuro-kuro ay maaaring makapagpabago ng ating bukas. Tandaan natin na palaging may bilang tayo sa bawat isa sa atin.
All right, thank you, sir, for that. If you know someone who is apolitical, don't be rude to them. Instead, let's educate them and, of course, respect. So, up next, do you got something there, Nicole?
All right, sir. Thank you for that. So for our last question, of course, from Susmita de Lima, our question is, good afternoon, Sir Chard. What can you say po about the influence of parents on the youth voters' political stand? I have seen so many discussions regarding the youth's parents influencing their political stances, and it would be nice to talk about it too, since those who are young are deemed to respect their parents' opinion.
Ako sa akin, simple lamang ang pakikipagtalastasan, no? Mahalaga nga dapat na sinisimulan natin yung pakikipag-usap natin sa ating mga magulang. Una, kailangan nating matuto muna sa kanila. Saan ba sila nanggagaling? Ano ba yung kanilang gustong sabihin? At kung sa tingin natin, no, yung political stance na yon ay magkaiba sa ating political stance, and then most probably kailangan nating i-explain bakit ba nila kailangan mag-isip ng ibang, parang i-expand din natin yung knowledge natin. Pero ako, based sa aking mga nakikita, no, at based na rin sa experience, meron ding mga pagkakataon na kaya din mahirap makipag-usap sa mga parents dahil laging sarado ng kanilang utak at meron na sila talagang sarili stance noon pa man. Pero, sabi ko nga, going back kanina, no, sa challenge ko sa inyo, let's have to build new spaces for them. Ipakita natin na ito po ang nangyayari ngayon at ito ang sitwasyon natin ngayon at bigyan natin sila ng pinakamaraming mga sources. Because maaaring, hindi ko naman pwedeng sabihin naging mga ating mga magulang, no? Baka siguro dahil kulang pa yung kanilang naging kaalaman, kaya yun yung kanilang naging stand for that sense. And so, syempre, parte na ating pagmamahal, di ba? Bahagi ng ating pagmamahal ay yung tulungan yung ating mga minamahal. So kung mahal natin ng ating mga magulang, dapat handa rin tayong akayin sila kahit na masakit, kahit na mahirap, sa totoong tama. So, yun yung challenge ko din sa inyo, sa ating mga young leaders na nandito ngayon. If medyo mahirap ang discussion with our parents, no, ang way para ating makausap sila palagi ay i-challenge natin, tanungin natin, sabi nga kanina, ask clarity. No? And of course, be honest. Pero syempre, lagi nating tandaan na sa bandang dulo kailangan may respeto pa din. Respeto na pwede niyong sabihin na kaya ito yung dapat nating gawin because ito yung nangyayari at sa tingin ninyo ito yung tama. So kailangan yung paniwalaan yung bagay na yun. Pero syempre, if hindi pa rin kayo dumating sa punto na talagang wala na, as in hindi na talagang pag-uusapan ng maayos, hindi na talaga magkakaroon pa ng resolution sa level ninyo ng inyong mga magulang, at ang pinakamaganda na lamang nating gagawin ay pagpapasalamat. Pagpapasalamat dahil binigyan kayo ng pagkakataon para ibahagi yung gusto nyong sabihin, at pagpapasalamat na rin dahil binigyan kayo ng oras at pagkakataon para mas lalo nyong ipakita sa kanila na kayo ay mas mulat, na kayo ay merong pagkakataon para alamin ang mga dapat alamin. So, yun lang. Basta ang iiwan ko lang siguro dyan, Susmina, no, yung katagang kung talagang mahal natin ang ating mga magulang at mahal natin ang ating mga kamag-anak, patuloy natin silang kausapin. Patuloy natin silang bigyan ng pagkakataon at options para maintindihan kung saan tayo nanggagaling. At sa bandang huli, yung pagmamahal na yon ang maaring makatulong sa atin para mabago pa yung mga natutulog nating isip.
All right, thank you for that, Sir Chard. Yes, I totally agree with you. I believe we should just respect our loved ones and share our thoughts with them in order to achieve the unity among our family. All right? So, Rob, do you have any last question? As in, last question na lang for Sir Chard.
I think we're all set, Nicole.
All right.
Mm-mm.
Thank you very much, Sir Chard, for entertaining our questions. I still see a lot of questions being asked by our student leaders, but unfortunately, because of the time constraint, we won't be able to ask these questions here in our live stream, but we can gather your queries and maybe send it to Sir Chard in case he has some time to answer them.
Once again, we are very grateful to you, Sir Chard, for being with us today and for sharing your insights and thoughts on matters that concern us all. We hope everyone had a great time listening and learning from our speaker, Sir Chard Amazona. Sir Chard, before you finally say goodbye to our dearest Escolarians, do you have any party message for our student leaders?
Ayan, ulitin ko lang, no, yung 4 na M, no, sana ito yung ipatuloy nating pag-usapan in manifesting and asking clarity and being honest, no. Maniwala tayo na mayroong proseso. Magtiwala tayo sa totoong pagbabago, matuto tayo sa mga pagdaanan natin, matuto tayo sa ating mga naging experience, at kung gusto natin pang maka-invite ng mas maraming tao at magbigay ng lakas para sa isa't isa, kailangan nating magsimulang muli. At huwag niyo pong kalilimutan, no, last day of registration is until October 30. Let's maximize that for our young leaders. Kung meron kayong mga lolo at lola na hindi pa gustong magpa-reactivate ng kanilang registration, o kaya naman meron pang kayong mga kilalang mga tricycle drivers, nanay, or mga lolos or lola na nasa inyong mga community, let's invite them to participate in the May 2022 elections, because ang challenge natin ngayon sa pagbubuklod ay paano tayo magsasama-sama. At kung ang tanong sa bawat isa ay nasaan ba ang kabataan, ang huli kong sasabihin ngayon, sana lagi nating tandaan, dapat ang tanong ay bakit kailangan ng kabataan. Yun lang at maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
That is a very amazing speech, Sir Chard. Thank you once again for spending your Saturday afternoon with us.
Alright, thank you so much, Sir Chard, for your inspiring words. And we will surely bring all of those with us. Bye, Sir Chard!
Bye, Sir Chard. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Indeed, we are starting this Congress with a bang. Earlier this week, the University Student Council assigned a weekly task for our student leaders, described as Makatang Escalorian. It is an activity wherein student participants are to submit a spoken poetry video highlighting the role, functions, characteristics, and advocacies of the youth of this generation. At this point, we would like to congratulate the weekly winners. Here are the top 3 entries.
Ako ay isang manlalakbay mula sa silangan at umakyat ako ng bundok. Sa bawat pagtaas ng aking tinutuntungan, hindi ko kinalilimutang huminto. Nililingon ko ang aking pinanggalingan kung gaano na nga ba kalayo ang narating ng aking mga paa sa bawat pagtaas ng aking tinutuntungan. Hindi ko kinalilimutang humarap at tumanaw. At ibabahagi ko sa inyo ang natanaw ng aking mga mata nang minsan kong nilakbay ang bundok na kung tawagin ko'y Pilipinas. Unang tanaw, hindi pa nga gaanong mataas ang aking tinutuntungan, ngunit kitang-kita ng aking mga mata ang unang problema, unang tanaw, edukasyon. Kulang na kulang pa rin ng aksyon, nananatili pa rin mangmang si Juan, dulot ng lahat ng mga kakulangan. Maraming oportunidad na ang nasayang, mga kinabukasang hindi na sinikatan ng araw. Sabi nila, no children left behind, pero bakit meron pa rin naiiwan? Ikalawang tanaw, habang pataas pa ng pataas ang aking lokasyon, tumambad sa akin ng mga bangkay sa iba't ibang direksyon. Ikalawang tanaw, depresyon. Huwag sanang baliwalain mga kabataang tinalo ng dilim. Kalusugang pangkaisipan ay mahalaga din naman. Huwag sanang kalimutang pagtuunan. Huwag naman sanang mangyaring mawalan ng pag-asa, ang pag-asa ng bayan. Ikatlong tanaw, mula sa tuktok, mula sa rurok, kung saan mas malinaw kong nakikita ang mas malawak pang pagsubok. Ikatlong tanaw, kahirapan. Ugat ng kagutuman, kawalan ng edukasyon, kawalan ng yaman, mga kabataang nawalan ng patutunguhan. Panahon na para sila'y matugunan. Tapusin na natin ang laban. Piliin ang lider na mapagkakatiwalaan. Dahil walang lugar sa paglilingkod, ang mga lider na ang pinaglilingkuran ay salapi. Walang lugar sa pamahalaan ang mga namamahalang hindi marunong magmahal. Walang lugar sa pamunuan ang mga lider na tanging alam lang ay ang umupo. Kailangan mo ring tumayo. Ikaw ang pipili ng tama. Ikaw ang pipili ng karapat-dapat. Yan ang isang gampanin mo bilang kabataan. At kung sakali man na nakalimutan mo nang maging isang mabuting mamamayan, alalahanin mo ang panunumpa sa bandilang ating tiningala, at ang panatang makabayan mula pa noong bata. Pataasin mo rin ang antas ng iyong kaalaman. Hindi lang kahirapan, edukasyon, depresyon ang hamon sa ating mga kabataan. Tandaan mo, lahat tayo may pananagutan. Hindi lang tayo basta bata. Isa tayong mamamayan. Isang Pilipinong may paninindigan. Isa akong manlalakbay mula sa silangan. At sa susunod kong paglalakbay, inaanyayahan kitang muli na ako'y samahan. Alam ko na ang sunod nating pupuntahan. Sa halalan.
Kabataan, nasaan ka? Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Pagmulat ng mga mata mo, nagising sa madilim na dako, hindi alam ang totoo, hinahanap sino nga ba tayo. Nangangapa sa dilim, hinahanap ang sagot sa taimtim na dalangin.
Sino nga ba ako? Saan ako lulugar sa mundong ito? Kailan ako gigising? Kapag ba nawala ng dilim o kung kailan nagsisimula na ang takip silim?
Ikaw, bumangon ka, imulat ang iyong mga mata, buksan ang isip at palawakin pa. Sino ka nga ba? Kabataan, ikaw nga. Ngunit bakit hindi kita makita? Nasaan ka? Ayan ka. Nakikinig at tulala. Ngunit bago ang lahat, may nais akong itanong sa iyo. Ano ang nais mo paglaki mo? Nais mo bang maging bombero o maging tagapagturo? Nais mo bang maging pulis? O hindi kaya isang taong nagtitiis? Nais mo bang maging tulad ng iba? At hindi bilang ikaw dahil may pagdududa ka? Mga kapwa ko kabataan, hindi sa pagnanais nag-uumpisa ang lahat. Nais mong maging gaya niya, malikhain, porsigido, may pangambag mula sa sariling bulsa. Ngunit kabataan, huwag kang mag-alala dahil hindi mo kailangan ng salapi para tuluyang magsimula. May sarili kang talento. Ang kailangan mo lang ay huwag mahiya. Hindi mo kailangan ng barya o pagkakawang gawa. May panlaban ka kahit nasa silid ka pa. Kabataan, dito lahat nagsisimula. Sining, lumikha ka ng mga bagay na mas mahalaga. Hindi ang pagtutugis ng mga mata o pagmamasid sa mga ginawa na ng iba. Sining, isang nakatagong kakayahan na kailangan mo lang pakawalan, kabataan. Sining, mula sa iyong unang dampot ng krayola o pag-awit ng 1 hanggang 10 nota. Huwag kang maniniwala sa sinasabi ng iba na lahat ng bagay ay hindi mo kaya. Kailangan mo lang maniwala. Maniwala na kaya mo nang mag-iwan ng marka na sa bawat hakbang ng iyong mga paa ay ang mga bakas na susundan ng iba. Kabataan, mayroon ka nang kayang gawin. Ang pagbabago ay hindi na dapat hintayin. Simulan mo kahit sa isang simpleng tugtugin, pagbigkas ng mga tugma, o hindi kaya pagsayaw sa awitin. Wala na tayo sa lumang panahon na ang bawat kilos natin ay tila nakakulong dahil kabataan ka lamang at ikaw ay nasa loob ng kahon. Huwag kang mag-alala, wala na tayo sa lumang panahon. Hindi na tayo mga bata lamang.
Hindi tayo papayag na tawaging mga mangmang
dahil tayo ay mga kabataan. Kabataang tinakda ni Rizal bilang pag-asa ng bayan. Kabataan, nasaan ka dahil hindi ka nag-iisa sa laban para sa masa. Kabataan, nasaan ka dahil bawat hakbang at ambag mo ay napakahalaga. Kabataan,
nasaan ka?
Hindi mo ba alam
na ang sandata mo ay sandata rin nila?
Kabataan,
nasaan ka?
Takot ka pa rin ba?
May pagdududa, nag-aalangan, nag-aalala, nagtatanong sino ka ba para sa kanila?
Kabataan, imulat mo pa ang iyong mga mata. Hindi mo ba nakikita?
Ikaw ang pag-asa nila.
Ikaw ang simula ng pagbabagong sinasabi nila. Ikaw. Ngunit, handa ka ba sa inakda ng panahon? Kailangan ka namin ngayon. Kabataan, nasaan ka?
Isinilang tayo sa mundong puno ng tinig, ang tunog ng mga yabag, ang tugtog ng kampana, mga halakhak, mga pag-iyak, ang pag-ibig sa harana, mga himig na gigisingin ka, mga boses na madalas kang tatanungin, ano ang iyong mga inaasam, ano ang iyong mga mithiin. Gusto kong maging inhinyero, maging guro, maging abogado. Nais kong maging nurse, ang libutin ang mundo. Gusto kong maging doktor, gusto ko ng pagbabago. Ngunit pilit tayong pababagali ng nakaraan, pilit na itutulak ng kasalukuyan. Lalakas at lalakas ang boses ng ibang tao. Mag-aalingaw-ngaw at ika'y didiktahan, sasabay ka sa agos ng kapalaran. Umahon ka, kailangan ka ng bayan. Alamin ang nangyayari sa lipunan, basahin ang pagtakbo ng kasaysayan, pag-aralan ang impluwensya ng kapangyarihan, pakinggan ang hikbi ng mamamayan, tuklasin ang kanilang pangangailangan, kasapi ka sa laban, kabahagi ka ng kilusan, isulong ang ating mga karapatan. Kabataan, hindi ka kabataan lamang. Hindi ka nakapako sa kinabukasan, ikaw ang pag-asa sa mga susunod na taon, ngunit ikaw din ang pag-asa ngayon. Tinatawag ka, naririnig mo na ba? Ang tunog ng mga yabag, ang tugtog ng kampana, mga halakhak, mga pag-iyak, ang pag-ibig sa harana, mga himig na gigisingin ka, mga boses na susubukan kang sirain, ililigaw, pababagsakin, pero isisigaw ang tunay na damdamin na ang mundo ay puno ng hangarin at narito ka para mangarap ng malalim at magsalita, makinig, mapakinggan.
Once again, congratulations to all the winners who joined our Makatang Escalorian weekly task. Let us give them a virtual round of applause.
Going back, have you seen the total number of participants, Nicole?
Not yet, Rob, but let's have some check. Will you give us an update, Rob?
I am thrilled to announce that the number of participants joining us on our Facebook and YouTube Live is sustained at around 300 participants, considering that the fact that we are at home stretch of this activity.
That's great. This is a reminder that you have to stay because the evaluation form will only be given right after the event.
At this point, let's watch a video from our major sponsor.
There you have our major sponsor for our raffle, which is up next. 10 students will get a chance to win one of the following prizes: 300 and 500 pesos worth of load, 2 COVID health kits, 2 grocery packages, 2 study kits, and lastly, pocket Wi-Fi from Smart.
All thanks to our sponsor, Smart, for providing these essentials for the students. Before we start though, let us remind our dear student leaders that first, they have to keep a screenshot of their names if they are chosen by our wheel of names. Then, you guys can send it to the USC Manila's official Facebook page, CU Manila University Student Council, or USC's email at uscmnl@ceu.edu.ph. But do not worry though, because we will also post the raffle winners at the end of the Congress. Okay, I think we're all set, Nicole. Let us begin the raffle.
Are you all excited with our raffle prizes as Colorian student leaders? So, here is our first winner to win COVID health kit. Let's spin the wheel.
Yeah. What a great sound. Yes, papaindak din nga ako.
All right, we have the first winner for our COVID health kit, and that is Miss Angela. What's that? Miss Angela. All right, congratulations for that. Please screenshot us your name and send it to USC Facebook page or email it with our email address. All right, so for the next COVID health kit winner, we have Let's Spin the Wheel.
That is right.
All right, we have another winner of COVID health kit, and that is Jelisa May Vergara. Congratulations. You can now screenshot your name and send it to our USC Facebook page or email address, usc.manila.ph.
Next in line, we will pick two winners for our grocery package. So, for our first winner, let us spin the wheel. Tamang-tama itong grocery package, lalo na Noche Buena Espacio Forching.
I agree with you, Rob.
There you have it. Congratulations, Adrian Paulo P. Mabahage, for winning grocery package. If you are there watching live, you can screenshot this and send it to our Facebook page. Okay, let's proceed for the next winner. Let us spin the wheel.
Grocery package is a daily necessity, partner. Kaya naman, grocery package is a must, right?
Yes. And there you have it, guys. Congratulations, San Valjeron, for winning the second grocery package. Please don't forget to screenshot your name and send it to our official page or email. Congratulations.
So, for our third raffle prize, we have 2 sets of study kit. So, for the next winner, spin the wheel.
That is true.
Of course.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Miss Rika Angela May C. Serpio. All right, please screenshot this and send it to USC Facebook page or our email address, uscmanila.cu.ph. Congratulations. So for the last study kit, let's spin the wheel.
This would be very helpful because learning block 3 is fast approaching.
Yes, I agree with you, Rob. Congratulations to Joanna Patricia S. Cautivo. All right, please screenshot your name and send it to USC Facebook page or our email, uscmanila.cu.ph. Congratulations.
Up next, papalaki ang ating prices because we have up next is 300 pesos load of GCash from Smart. Again, we will also pick 2 students to win this 300 pesos load. So, let us spin the wheel.
Rob, alam mo, itong 300 GCash, pang Shopee or Lazada.
I agree. Malapit na 11/11.
True.
Darius Salmero, you are the first winner of our 300 pesos GCash load. Kindly screenshot this and send it to our Facebook page. Okay, proceed tayo. So, for the last winner of 300 pesos worth of GCash load, let us spin the wheel.
Alright.
Congratulations, Razy Jane S. Evangelista, for winning the 300 pesos worth of GCash load. Don't forget to screenshot this and send it to our email or Facebook page.
Alright, so for our second to the last raffle prize, we have Mas Pinalaki to Rob. 500 pesos GCash or more. Alright.
Wow!
So, sino kayang mananalo sa ating Escolorian student leaders? Let's see. Let's spin the wheel.
Not only for the 1111 Shopee, but for the Learning Block 3 also. This will be a huge help.
Totally agree. Congratulations to Miss Yara Ishika R.G. Ramboyong. Alright, you can now screenshot your name and send it to our USC official Facebook page or email address uscmanila.cu.ph. Congratulations! Alright, so for the next 500 peso raffle winner, we have Let's Spin the Wheel.
Alright. Okay, let's dance.
Congratulations to Mr. Billy James Ramos. All right. You can send it to our USC Facebook page or email it and screenshot your name. So, congratulations.
And for the last set of prizes, we have a pocket Wi-Fi from Smart. Just like the previous prizes, we will also pick 2 winners for this. So, let's start spinning the wheel. There you have it, guys. We have Ashley Francil Aguilar. Congratulations for winning the first of 2 Smart Pocket Wi-Fi. Don't forget to screenshot your name and send it to our Facebook page. Alright, so we are down to our last spin of wheel prize. So, ano pa bang hinihintay natin? Let us spin the wheel. And our last winner will be Vian Loris Wayne V. Suto. Congratulations! You won a pocket Wi-Fi from Smart. Kindly screenshot this and send it to our email and Facebook page.
All right, once again, congratulations to all the winners. Your prizes will be given to you at the end of the Leadership Congress event. Please message us directly at our official Facebook page, CU Manila University Student Council, and wait for further instructions. By the way, Escolorians, we are excited to share with you a special raffle giveaway that will take place during the second day of the Leadership Congress 2021, which will be held on October 30, 2021, next Saturday.
To all our Smart subscribers, you can have a chance to win Smart premium items during the special raffle portion for next Saturday. All you need to do is download the GigaLife app, then top up at least 50 pesos of any Giga variant. Then, you can send us a screenshot of your GigaLife app dashboard showing that load you top up as proof. The pool of submissions will be included in the special raffle portion on the second day of the Leadership Congress.
Yes, you got that right, Rob. So, Escolorian Smart subscribers, go grab this chance. Submit your screenshots through USC Manila's official email address, uscmnl@cu.edu.ph, and maybe you will be the next big raffle winner on the second day of the Congress.
Once again, thank you very much, Smart, for all these wonderful surprises for us students. Indeed, you can rely on Smart to be a smarter student, leader, and voter. And now, to close this momentous day and to deliver his closing message, may we call on the Vice President for Student Affairs and the University Student Council Manila Advisor, Dr. Carlito B. Olaer. Let's give him a warm virtual round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. The first day of our Leadership Congress now comes to a close. Again, I raise the question for the first day of this Congress, kabataan, nasaan ka? Mark Twain, the American author and humorist, and George Bernard Shaw, an Irish playwright, said, "Youth is wasted on the young." Is this true? If this were true, then it is an ugly truth, because it could mean that the young are immature, carefree, irresponsible, incompetent. It could mean a complete disregard of anything good that the young are capable of doing. Or it could even mean the youth of today totally come from another planet. So what happens to the youth of today as the leaders of tomorrow, as Nelson Mandela would put it? What happens to the youth as the hope of our future, as said by our very own Dr. Jose Rizal? All nonsense? All lies? Or is this the harsh truth of the great divide? The great gap that leads the old and the aged to misunderstand and misjudge the young, or vice versa. But is there really a gap to fill? I tend to believe what the Spanish artist Pablo Picasso said, that youth has no age, because tiny parts of youthfulness we could find in everyone, young and old alike, just like love. Youth is not just about a certain age group, as the World Health Organization brackets the young from 15 to 25. Youth is about energy, curiosity, enthusiasm to learn new things, which could be mine or yours. And the person gifted with such never gets old, never retires. Biologically, even the old and the aged could be immature, irresponsible, incompetent. Then who are the young? There is one characteristic that defines them according to John Wooden, an American basketball coach. The young need models, not critics. An unknown author also said once, "There is no excuse for the young people not knowing who their heroes and heroines are." Debatable or not, I ask the question, do you have your own hero? Or do you believe that you are your own hero? At this time of the pandemic, it is said that hard times don't create heroes. It is during the hard times when the hero within us is revealed. At this time, where we find ourselves at the crossroad of electing our new leaders, Brody Ashton, a novelist, said, "Heroes are made by the paths they choose, not the powers they are graced with." When I was 10 years old, and that was 48 years ago, my father, who was bedridden at that time, showed me a book called Balarila. He said, "Son, I want you to open a page and read the content of it. That is the only thing I could give you before I go." I opened the book, and the page contained a poem, and I read it. Ang mabuting batay tulad ng halaman, sagana sa dilig at sikat ng araw. Luntian ang dahon, sangay malalabay. Sariwa ang ugat at lubhang matibay. Kaya't kung sumapit ang pamumulaklak, ay hitik ang sangang papagap-pagaspas. At kapag nagbunga ay kagilag-gilalas, maging tao't ibon ay nakakapitas. Ganyan ang kawangis ng mabuting bata. Sa ama't sa inay isang gantimpala, isang maginoo sa pagkabinata, mamamayang dapat gawing halimbawa. Iya'y lumitaw na sa mga bayani, Rizal, Bonifacio del Pilar Mabini, kaya't kabataan sikaping mag-ani sa sariling bayan ng dangal at puri. I embraced my tatay. He was my hero. Long gone, yet remains to be in my mind and heart. For he has left me with something that cannot be spent and squandered. To be always a good kid to his father and mother, a good brother to his siblings, a good friend to his neighbors, a good leader to his members, a good citizen of his country. Now I ask another question. Kabataan, kumusta ka? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Laer, for your closing remarks. Thank you for those inspiring words of wisdom. Indeed, the student leaders are lucky to have you as our advisor and our tatay.
Before we end the program, we would just like to remind everyone to support the university's upcoming events. First, we will have the first dialogue with AC, Deans and Heads in January 2022. Next, the USC weekends will take place on March 2022. And lastly, the second dialogue with AC, Deans and Heads will take place on June 2022. All of these events and activities will be announced through the official Facebook page of the Students Affairs Office, Let's Ask SAU. Their page provides official announcement from the university, and you could also message them about your inquiries.
Now, to end the first day of the Leadership Congress 2021, let us all sing the CEU hymn to be led by the CEU Singers Manila.
Mabuhay ka, mahal naming pamantasan, papuri sa dakilang sentro eskolar. Ika'y dambana ng pag-ibig sa bayan, at agham na sa riyang matagumpay. Kapag ang diwa ng iyong mga himig, umagona sa puso't dibdib, sabay-sabay na ipasisigawan. Mabuhay ka, dakilang sentro eskolar. Mabuhay ka, mahal naming pamantasan, papuri sa dakilang sentro eskolar. Ika'y dambana ng pag-ibig sa bayan, at agham na sa riyang matagumpay. Sentro Escolar, Centro Escolar.
Thank you, Escolarians, for your participation in today's series of Leadership Congress, Buklod, Kabataan, Nasaan Ka?
We will be seeing you on the second Saturday of the Leadership Congress 2021, October 30, 2021, during the morning session in the LC Kumustahan Night. To those of the student leaders who haven't registered yet for our LC Kumustahan Night, the registration is still ongoing.
Stay updated with the latest weekly tasks and announcements for the coming weeks. A quick reminder also to the participants to fill out the evaluation form pinned here in the comment section. Your certificate will only be sent once you have filled out these forms. Thank you very much.
Before we end, may we remind you again that the registration is still ongoing for the national and local elections.
And don't forget to vote in next year's elections.
Once again, I am Maria Nicole Querido.
And I am Robert Julius Suleman saying mabuhay ka.
Mahal naming pamantasan. See you next Saturday!
See you next Saturday.
Thank you very much everyone for attending. Hello po, Dr. Padrina. Thank you
Hello
very
po.
much po.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Dr. Padrina. Thank you, Dr. Anastasio, for being with us. Salamat po.
Dr. Anastasio is here also to greet
Yes,
you.
po.
Very nice opening ceremony. Congratulations.
Thank you very much po, Dr.
Thank you very much po.
Picture tayo.
Naka-live pa tayo.
sige po.
Naka-live pa tayo. Very good,
Yes
very good,
po.
very
We'll
good.
take our
Thank you,
picture.
ma'am.
Yes po, we can record this po, ma'am, for our picture na lang po. So, smile na lang po ang lahat. 1, 2, 3,
Ay, si Ma'am
smile.
Olin nandun, no? Si Ma'am Olin.
Ay, hindi mo kasi pinadala yung ano.
Ma'am, kasi
Ayan,
po, 10 lang po,
kuha
ma'am.
mo. Wait. Pin that, remark. Kuha ka ulit ang picture, Iha.
Okay po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Alright po. Thank you very
Kasi
much
nandun
po.
yung comment ni Dr.
Yes,
Olive.
opo.
Yes
Thank
po.
you, Thank you, Olin.
Good.
Thank you very much po. Okay po. We will end the live now po. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye po. Keep safe po, everyone.
Thank you, Carly. Congratulations, Carlito.
Thank you.
Bye.
Alright po.
Everyone.
Thank you.